All right, guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We've got a lot to get to tonight. I hope you guys have your safety buckles harnessed and you're all situated. If you're driving, ignore everything I'm about to say. But those of you who are driving, you might want to at various times tonight close your eyes. You're going to want to picture yourself in various places because you're going to ask, how can these facts be reconciled? How can we have one object in two places at the same time? Well, we know through the laws of physics that can't happen. Speaking of one thing being in two places at the same time, sometimes we have two cameras in one place at the same time, or we have a camera in a place where perhaps someone testifying didn't know a camera was, and we learn whether or not they were telling the truth. We'll have to examine that here tonight. I want to build off of, before I get to my opening, which I think is excellent, by the way, one of my favorite novellas that I want to talk about tonight. But before we get to that, I want to kind of build off of something Candace was talking about tonight, because I think it's this idea that we have. I am going to talk about the article at some point, the article where Candace was called various names. And, well, at least according to a family friend, Erica has a higher opinion of the alleged person who took her husband's life than she does of a podcaster who did not take her husband's life. So that we will get to that. That's going to be an interesting thing. But in light of that, I want to kind of point something out. We have repeatedly said on this show, do not contact these people. Don't harass these people. Don't bother these people. You know, if you want to make content, make content. I don't harass these people. If I ever reach out to somebody and they say, hey, I'd rather you not reach out to me. Okay, I'm polite. I don't even respond and say, okay, I'll be happy to. If you need anything, let me know. I genuinely don't ever reach back out again. Not even to follow up and say, I hear you loud and clear, won't happen again, partner. I think that's the polite and respectful way to handle things. But it doesn't stop us from wanting to know what happened. This was a political event that shook the nation. This isn't some personal thing that involved some random neighbor, right? If a random guy who lived down the street from me tragically was taken in a violent act, you know, maybe we don't examine his whole life. Maybe we don't examine the whole life of the person who takes over for him at work, because who the hell is that guy? No one even knows who that guy is. But if a president of the United States goes down, we're going to examine it. How many people have been talked about in the JFK assassination? Roger Stone wrote a whole book implicating Lyndon Baines Johnson as the guy who ordered the hit. You have podcasters, authors, movie makers. You have all kinds of people talking about potential people who might have been involved. This is what happens in a free republic when a major crime happens that impacts a great deal of the public. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has speculated on the man who took the life of his father. That guy's never been charged. They've never had a probable cause hearing. He was never arrested. He was a security guard working that night on behalf, I believe, of the government. Nevertheless, Robert F. Kennedy, after looking into the case, says, I've come to the conclusion they've got the wrong guy. That Sirhan may have had something to do with the death of Robert F. Kennedy, but he ultimately was not responsible for taking his life. He was in the wrong place. He could not have shot him from behind if he was in front, for example. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. identified the guy who was standing behind. I actually did an opening on this and speculated that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is probably right. The guy who took Robert F. Kennedy's life is not in prison right now. He was never charged. There's nothing wrong with that on a matter of of a public person. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, if there was something wrong with that, the entire industry of courtroom television, Nancy Grace, think of Megyn Kelly to some extent with what she did with the Idaho 5, in other cases, the whole Casey Anthony trial, all of these legal commentators would be put out of business. They wouldn't be free to speculate. They would be limited to, the evidence doesn't make sense. It seems to point to someone else, but we're not allowed to talk about that. Well, what do you mean? Who do you think did it? Can't tell you. Sorry. Well, can you just give us some initials? No, can't even give you the initials. This case is even a little different. I don't believe I have ever speculated a particular person actively took a step to pull any kind of trigger, activate a device, and take the life ultimately, or pull a trigger, take the life of Charlie Kirk. I don't believe I ever have. If I have, maybe I thought that at the time, but it's an opinion. I don't necessarily think that's the case today. I don't know who did it. My question is who killed him, sure. And in that, I mean, who pulled the trigger, who activated the device, who did whatever. But really how? I am very intrigued by the how and the why, because I think the how and the why are going to give us to the who. I think the how and the why will get us to the who. If we can figure out what kind of device, what kind of contraption, was it a bullet? What kind of bullet? Where'd it come from? What's the angle? What does the autopsy say? That can kind of get us on to the who. Same with the how, the why. If we can nail down the why, we start to limit the number of people who can be involved in the who. What's not up for debate, and what we've covered extensively on this program, is the dishonesty or the perceived dishonesty that's come out of the people closest to Charlie Kirk after the fact. I've been very bothered by that. In fact, if you look around and you just kind of objectively study their words, where they said they were, things begin to not make sense. Take Blake Neff. We covered last week about how maybe this week, I can't remember what day it is. We covered one day that Blake Neff said at one point he stayed in Orem. The next night, a couple nights later, he says he stayed in Salt Lake City. Well, you can't reconcile those two. You were one or the other. He said he called Mikey called Erica first. And then we learned, no, Mikey didn't call Erica first. Mikey called his wife first. Well, you can't reconcile those two. He said he called, or Erica told Candace he called Danny Phillips and talked for 10 minutes. Well, they were together. They were in the same car. What were they talking about? I think they were in the same car. Maybe they were released at the same event. What were they talking about? Why were they on the phone for 10 minutes? Is that who he really called? I mean, there's just so many inconsistencies. And Brett Weinstein on X in the last couple of days, I don't know if it was yesterday. Again, I think it's Tuesday. I was off yesterday. I don't normally do a show on Tuesday. I normally do a show on Monday. I didn't do one yesterday. We had an event in the family. It ran long. I loved it. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, but it didn't leave me with time to finish the show for yesterday. So we're going to do it today. We'll just switch those 2 days. But the reality is what Brett Weinstein asked was if the murder of Charlie Kirk is relatively straightforward, what's up with the cover-up? What's up with the cover-up? And that's a good question. That's kind of what leads us to meet on a regular basis. What's up with the cover-up? What are we doing? Why are we continually faced with what appears to be, at least on its face, patent dishonesty? Changing positions, changing stories that don't make sense. We're going to get to one of them tonight, a key piece of evidence we're going to talk about tonight, the screwdriver. At first, you think, well, that's boring. You're going to do a show on a screwdriver? Yeah. I think the screwdriver may be the most fascinating piece of evidence in this entire case because the screwdriver moved. It moved over the course of about 4 days, and something significant happened before it moved. Something very significant happened. It was in one location. It was there for days and days, and then something happened, and then all of a sudden the screwdriver moved. The person who first moved the screwdriver was the director of the FBI, Kash Patel. We'll talk about that tonight. Why did the screwdriver move? Why did it have to move? Well, I think we've kind of figured it out. Again, what's up with the cover-up? Why are you moving the screwdriver around? Why didn't you accurately report where the screwdriver was? We also have Detective or Officer Bagley, Agent Bagley. I'm not sure what he is. He was a cop at UVU, and now he's a cop somewhere else making a bunch of money. But we have Bagley talking about the discovery of the screwdriver. We're going to look at that in depth tonight because the story doesn't make sense. There actually was a camera on him, we learned, when he made the discovery, about the exact time he made the discovery. He tells us he was on the roof alone with a plainclothes officer. Is that true? We'll nail that down. But I do want to get to my open because I think it's good. If I do say so myself, I'll be humble enough to say I think it's pretty good. As I'm looking at this case, as I'm looking at the social media anxiety, I think is the only word I can use for it. As I'm looking for any semblance of sanity, I wonder, where have I seen this before? And it dawned on me. I read it in a book 20 years ago. So I got the book out. I started flipping around. I refreshed myself on the book. I went back to my notes. I had highlights, pink highlights. I don't know why I was carrying a pink highlighter back then, but I had pink highlights. Went to the book, flipped through the pink highlights, saw the notes in the margin and thought, this is what we're experiencing today. That novella, was a book called Anthem by Ayn Rand. Anthem is a pretty concise, it's only like 100 pages. It's a dystopian novella, and it serves as a powerful anthem, thus the name of the book, to individualism. Imagine yourself in a distant future. Now, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But if you are sitting at home and you're not doing anything, close your eyes. Kick your feet up. Imagine yourself in a distant future. Humanity lives under a totalitarian collectivist state. They have banned the word I, meaning I as an individual. That word has been erased from the language. It's been erased from thought. People don't even know it existed. People rather exist only as the word we. They're not assigned names. They're given numbers. And every aspect of their life, from work to mating, is dictated by the establishment. And they have councils. The councils are the Council of Vocations and the Council of Scholars. If you have any kind of curiosity, any kind of ambition, any kind of personal preference, these are considered crimes. And they have a guiding principle. The guiding principle is we are one in all and all in one. There are no individual men or women, but only the great we. Kind of terrifying. The set and setting of this book is the dystopian future I just described. And so for all the praise of Ayn Rand's longer work, Fountainhead, Atlas Shrugged, these are read and reviewed. They have movies made out of them. And I've read them, and I've read her other pieces of literature. I think I've read everything she's written. Anthem may be her best work, maybe her best piece of literature, if not her best overall work. It's concise, it's dystopian, and it serves as kind of an official statement of her idea that the individual is an important component of your life. Being a part of a we is not enough. It deprives you of who you really are. The protagonist is a tall man. He's intelligent. He's young. And his great sin in life is that he has an independent spirit. And from a young age, it marks him as a sinner. He is basically punished by the state for this streak of individualism. His number is Equality 72521. That's what he's known by. And because of this drive for independence, he's assigned a job of street sweeper. And this is back during the days when you manually grabbed a broom and swept the street. This is before you could drive a big, cool piece of equipment. He secretly rediscovered electricity. This is an interesting component of this book, is that this dystopian future, the society we have here, has been lost. And they no longer have electricity. But he's experimenting underground. He finds these abandoned tunnels from our civilization. Our civilization, they call the unmentionable times. They're not allowed to talk about it. But he goes down there and he's able to put some wires together. He's able to figure it out, and he figures out electricity. Along the way, he falls in love. What good novella doesn't have a love story? There's a golden-haired woman he names Liberty. Liberty 3000. He later calls her the Golden One. And so Equality takes his electric light that he's invented. He takes it to the Council of Scholars, expecting it to change society. And instead, they reject it. And they reject it in terror. Because the council fears anything that challenges their collective. And so he's immediately branded a traitor, and he flees into the country. He flees into the forest with Liberty. And there, for the first time, they're alone. And as they're talking, they rediscover the word I, because it's just the two of them. They pull out remnants of ancient literature. They start to read it. They start to grasp what the book calls the sanctity of the individual ego. And at the very end of the book, Equality 2521 vows to rebuild a world founded on self-respect, where the word we must never be spoken again except by your own choice. Now, what a weird world, right? We can't even imagine such a world in our lives today. But the reality is we have one. We have a dystopian future just like the one described in the book Anthem. It's called social media. Social media functions as a modern equivalent of that Council of Scholars. It enforces conformity, and it does it through relentless pressure campaigns. Go back in your mind to the COVID-19 pandemic. You had social platforms amplifying a coordinated message around things like mask mandates, vaccine requirements, safe and effective, social distancing. Any social media user who questioned a cloth mask could save their lives or they expressed any hesitancy whatsoever to an untested, unknown vaccine, they immediately faced swift backlash. They could be deplatformed. They could be shadow banned. They would be subjected to viral pile-ons. They would be labeled as grandma killers or anti-science. You had public health campaigns partnering with these tech companies, the government partnering with these tech companies, and they would flood the feeds with emotional appeals and these kind of moral imperatives. And words like wear a mask, shut up. It involved in like a loyalty test. If you were seen in public without a mask, you were branded a traitor. You were dangerous. If you wouldn't roll up your sleeve, you were the enemy. You were going to kill grandma. You wanted to kill grandma. Deep down, you hated grandma. So this refusal to comply resulted in accusations of selfishness. And likewise, if you resisted vaccines, you could have things like your employment terminated. You could have your travel denied. Some people were kicked out of school. They would be like in their third year of medical school. They're 28, 29 years old. They've been in school for their whole life since they're 5 years old. All they've ever wanted to do is help people. And they're kicked out of school a year before they graduate. And then there were people who celebrated it. Because whenever it would happen to somebody, they would be held up as an example. This is what happens when you challenge us. This is what happens when you go against the collective we. We destroy your life and we're happy for it because you're a center to our society. If you put up, for example, a post challenging the narrative, even if it was rooted in what you believed was fact and you had researched it well, and they would make fun of you. Oh, he's a Google doctor. Well, I mean, we have access to PubMed. It's basically almost all published medical literature. Anyone who's read like 2 studies out of it has probably read more than the average doctor. But it didn't matter. You were an idiot. These campaigns created echo chambers. Deviation from the norm resulted in social exile, not just online, but in real life. Because the algorithms reward collective alignment. Likes, shares, trending topics, hashtags, they all reinforce the approved narrative. Nuance, individual study, shamed, suppressed. We don't want any of it. You had families fractured. People quit talking to their parents, or their parents quit talking to their kids. Friendships. People just never speak to their friends again because they felt differently about whether a cloth mask could save their life. Schools and workplaces became battlegrounds, ground zero in this war for the mind. And the pressure mirrored Ayn Rand's dystopian society and Anthem. Independent judgment is considered dangerous in such an environment. If you pause at all to weigh things like personal risk, you're challenging the we. You're putting the I ahead of the we. It doesn't matter if you only have one eye. One I, letter I, not one I, E-Y-E. Doesn't matter if you only have one I and you don't want anything to happen to I. We're more concerned with the we. And you're being selfish. You're putting us at risk. We see these same things playing out today. We see them in the reactions to the death, somehow, of Charlie Kirk. On September 10th last year, Charlie Kirk died. He was at Utah Valley University. There's a 23-year-old man now, I guess, named Tyler Robinson. He's been charged with taking his life. The media has all but abandoned normative reporting standards when it comes to Tyler Robinson. They used to use words like alleged when referring to a criminal who was standing trial for taking someone's life. They don't do that anymore. They just come right out and say he killed him. The man who took Charlie Kirk's life is on trial. Well, that's a weird way of talking. There's a relentless social media campaign going on right now to convict Tyler Robinson in the eyes of the public before the judges even found probable cause to send the case to trial. It's so relentless. X the other day accidentally thought that the judge had ruled on probable cause. A trending topic came up that the judge had ruled early because so many people on social media were saying that probable cause had already been established. This is a relentless pressure campaign. There's no room for nuance. No discussion is acceptable. You either accept that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, or you will face the wrath of those pushing the state's narrative. Calls for calm, even calls for a presumption of innocence, are drowned in this moral outrage that's taken place. So in a way, social media has created this dystopian future, the dystopian future Ayn Rand warned against in the book Anthem. Her nightmare scenario of this systematic pressure to abandon any personal thought and just accept the collective and establishment-approved narrative, it is here. It has arrived. It's on X. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok. In Anthem, the councils dictate what is true. In our social media world, algorithms, viral mobs, they dictate what is true. And if you question the dominant line on anything, public health, foreign policy, even high-profile crimes, you are going to get swift social penalties. You're going to get the loss of followers. You're going to lose your job. You're going to have digital ostracism. And so what happens is smaller accounts look at what happens to Candace Owens, what happens to your humble host, and they see this hellish backlash and this torrent of really hateful pressure placed on anyone who dares speak out. And there's an obvious natural pressure placed on those people to remain silent or even begin to echo the mainstream narrative. It has a profound chilling effect on speech and thought. So if you go back to Anthem, you think about Equality 7:25:21 and him discovering the word I. It was a radical act of reclaiming a sense of who he is, reclaiming individuality against this enforced ubiquity, this enforced unity. Today, resisting the pressure of the social media hive requires similar courage. You better be ready to fight. You better be ready to take it and keep moving. It better not bother you. Get thick skin. Put on lotion, sleep in gloves. It's critical. It is critical that the foundations of free thought are not lost to these pressure campaigns to conform. You have to verify claims. You have to refuse this emotional blackmail, and you have to prioritize actual evidence over popular opinion. After the COVID debates, a lot of people who trusted their judgment over the mandates, over the masks, over the social distancing, over the vaccine requirements, a lot of us who just didn't do all that stuff, we later saw policy shifts vindicate us. I mean, now anyone looking back says, yeah, it probably wasn't that big of a deal. But at the time, it was hell on earth. But in the debate of who killed Charlie Kirk, how and why, rushing to collective judgment risks undermining justice for a person who's sitting on trial for the crime. And I'm just here, I want to tell you, it is okay to hold the state to the very highest standards imaginable when the state is trying to take away someone's liberty or even their life. You're allowed to push back. You're allowed to demand that they show you all the evidence. You're allowed to demand that they convict him beyond a reasonable doubt. I guess I didn't say this was your opening statement, but this was your opening statement. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Guys, I'm irritated right now. I'm very irritated by this push that you must comply or we're going to try to destroy your life. I've had a relatively successful legal career. I've not ever really been that controversial as a lawyer. I've taken on the establishment a lot. Took on the establishment with nonprofits and political campaigns. I took on the establishment with HIV science for 4 or 5 straight years. I am accustomed to taking shots from big boys. I'm accustomed to being called names. It doesn't bother me. But I've never seen the environment like this. I really haven't. And I went up against a multi-billion-dollar HIV industry who hated the way we were defending criminal clients. But I never, ever was treated with anything other than respect. Like it was all, I never had some 2-bit moron calling me a con man or anything like that, because I was like, hey, can you prove what you're claiming? You're claiming this guy has HIV. You know how to prove that? Can you prove it? You're using a test. Have you read the test kit? I have. I know what it says. Do you know the limits of what it says? I don't mind if you convict somebody, but you should have to be pretty accurate, pretty sure. You better have your evidence in order. And if you don't, well, then we've got a problem, because we're not going to submit to you. We're going to make you prove it. And I just am amazed, frankly, with the hive mind mentality and how people don't understand that when you engage in that kind of behavior, you're not just proving a point on an individual case or an individual idea. What you're doing is creating this dystopian nightmare future where you're not allowed to have independent thought. You're not allowed to investigate anything. So I'm not going to put up with it. Like, I'm going to keep doing what we do. I don't really address the fools online, and they are mostly fools. For example, everything we discussed tonight, well, almost everything, until we get to the last story. Almost everything we discussed tonight, I'm just going to pull stuff up on the screen, and you're just going to see them evolve in real time on where the screwdriver was. Now, that's not me having an opinion. You can't say I'm wrong about it. I'm telling you what they said. You might disagree with my opinion on why it changed, but you can't disagree with the facts. You can't disagree with the facts. I maintain, and I say this, and I will hold myself to this standard. And the other night we came out and corrected something that nobody even caught that we said. It was about Zechariah Qureshi going hospital to hospital. We finally got a hold of the original audio and listened to it in full instead of just listening to clips. And Daisy and I had a conversation. She said, I don't think we understood that correctly. We need to make a correction. I could have ignored it. I could have gone on with life. I could have covered something else that night. But no, you're right. We do need to make a correction. We need to put it up there and explain why we said it. And then we need to explain why we no longer agree with it. I think that's the right thing to do in that situation. Always welcome to make a correction. But if you're just going to call me a fool, then I'm not going to listen to you. But if you say, hey, you said the screwdriver was found here. Here's a piece of audio that says found over there. Okay, well, I didn't hear that audio. I'll be happy to make that correction next time I'm on air. Easy enough. Easy enough. Speaking of the screwdriver, we now have a single piece of evidence that puts Tyler Robinson on the roof. We have, besides the fact that Jack Posobiec and company said that, it's crystal clear HD. You can't see him up there. There's no DNA on the ledge. There's no fingerprints. None of that exists. The only thing we have that puts him on the roof is the screwdriver. So let's go back to the initial reports of the screwdriver, because this now becomes one of the most important pieces of evidence in the entire case. We better get good and well versed on where was the screwdriver and when. So I want to play several clips here from September 11th, the day the screwdriver was found. This is the Situation Room on CNN. This is Andrew McCabe, former acting director of the the FBI, talking about the screwdriver.
Identified photographs that may match your person. So this technology does not come without controversy. It has been thought to, there are folks who are concerned about biases that are built into these algorithms that could lead to false identifications, things of that nature. But it also has proven to be incredibly helpful in some other investigations. So I would expect that's the type of tools they're using now. If that doesn't work for them, I'm sure we're going to see them release those images and ask for help.
We also learned, Andy, that authorities recovered a screwdriver right near the rifle they found. Investigators say that's an indication that the shooter may have used it to disassemble and then reassemble the firearm before using it. What does that tell you? Why would he need a screwdriver?
Well, one of the questions that I've had since yesterday, until we recently found out that they recovered the rifle, is how does this shooter get out of that location? Just get off the roof.
Okay. Well, he keeps going, but we're going to stop it there. The question is, it's a good question, Andy. How did he get the gun off the roof? How did he get the gun onto the roof? Well, and they go on to speculate he may have taken it apart. Okay. Did you hear how she introduced the screwdriver? We're now learning the screwdriver was found near the weapon. Where was the weapon found? It wasn't found on the roof, was it? No. Okay, so that's just one piece of information. Surely if you keep playing, and that was at 9:08 a.m. Mountain Time on September 11th. It was early. It was the fog of war. Surely we know more now. Well, maybe, because a couple hours later, we have another guy on CNN, and that guy on CNN talks about the very same screwdriver. Let me get fast forward here and get to where he talks about the very same screwdriver. This is a guy named, can't remember his name, Evans or something. It looks like a deep stater, if we're being honest. The guy on the right.
And look, I mean, we don't know exactly what to make of that. The investigators certainly have this, and they're looking at this. They're asking the public to turn in any other video that they may have that might give them a clue as to what, how this all went down. One of the interesting things that we were told that the investigators found is, they found a screwdriver there near the firearm, right?
Found a screwdriver near the firearm, say investigators. Found a screwdriver near the firearm. You remember the governor came out initially and said that he took the gun apart on the roof, put the gun together on the roof, took the gun apart on the roof. No word yet why he would need to be limping around like that if he's got the gun in pieces, but, we don't know all the facts. We've not heard all the evidence, but we now have two different people from CNN saying that investigators are saying they found the screwdriver near the firearm. And we know where the firearm was allegedly found. It was in the bushes, in the wooded area across the street from the Losi Center. It was not on the Losi Center roof. The firearm was not found on the Losi Center roof. The screwdriver was found near the firearm. This is September 11th. This is the day after. They're citing investigators. They have good sources. That was 11:07 a.m., 12:08 p.m. 12:08 p.m. We now go to Fox News. We're still on the same day, the day after. Everybody seems to be in agreement so far where the screwdriver was found.
Fit into that backpack. And does this speak to the idea that maybe the weapon had been pre-positioned, that this was really thought out over time and not just on the day?
Yeah, I think that's a salient point. The received wisdom a little bit upon the discovery of the screwdriver was that it was used for breaking down the rifle and then getting out of there, or bringing it broken down and assembling it on the roof. That leaves a lot of vulnerability. I mean, for all we know, the screwdriver was used to jimmy the lock to get up onto the roof. Mm-hmm. So, we do have to be a little bit cautious about our leaps here in logic, but certainly a possibility. You could have had it secreted there without question. So we do know that the person left the campus holding the rifle because they have it. By now, they will have matched it to the round that unfortunately took Charlie's life. So they know they got the gun, and they're saying that. So I think we can lean on that heavily. So there's likely images of him leaving with that gun.
So they're talking about the screwdriver, and they don't really know what to make of the screwdriver. And they didn't say the screwdriver was found on the roof. Maybe it was to jimmy the lock. There, you see, he had a very strong New York accent there. Very strong. For those of you in our New York audience, I'm sure that sounded completely normal to everyone else on the planet. That sounded really weird. But he said, by now they're going to have a match of the bullet to the gun. They're going to match the bullet to the gun. Well, they never did. Now, bad news for you, sir. That was not actually the case. Yes, like you, we all expected that to happen quickly. And it took us months and months, maybe 6-8 months to learn that they actually never were able to match it. This is a little later in the evening. This is an evening report on the screwdriver here. So we'll let this roll. This is again Fox News. This is again September 11th.
Pointing at him. He's limping, and some people have suggested that could be that the rifle, or at least part of the rifle, is perhaps secreted down that pant leg, and that's why he's walking with a stiff leg. But then we see, and if we can go to the interior photos now of him walking up the stairwell, I don't know how you would be walking up a stairwell with that rifle still down a pant leg. So, I mean, what do you glean anything from that, Dan? Does this give you any clues at all? Because he clearly doesn't have a rifle in his hand anywhere that we've seen him.
Well, I think the recovery of the screwdriver is significant to the entire investigation, that he utilized the screwdriver to break apart the weapon, which to me indicates that he's familiar with the weapon. He understands how the weapon works, and he was able to break it down and secrete it, whether it be in his pant leg or whether it be in his backpack. So he was carrying that backpack with that backpack
So the screwdriver is still very much a piece of the story here, late into the evening on September 11th. And then the screwdriver sort of goes away. We don't hear much about the screwdriver after. We have, we're left with the impression the screwdriver was found with the gun. That's what investigators said. The screwdriver was found with the gun. The gun, we know, was allegedly found in the bushes. Doesn't take a rocket surgeon to realize that the screwdriver would then have been found in the bushes, not on the roof. And then we fast forward to September 15th, and then we learn that that's actually no longer the case. Kash Patel actually changes the location of the screwdriver. He, with his words, moves the screwdriver to a totally different location. No longer is the screwdriver in any bush. Screwdriver now has migrated. It has floated through the air, and it lands in a completely different place on September 15th.
Local on September 11th was walked the entire crime scene, including the foots the suspect himself took. And what we learned was there was evidence, DNA evidence that could be collected and had been collected, including a screwdriver that was found on the rooftop. Also,
that was the first time we heard about the screwdriver on the rooftop. The question is, why were the investigators telling news people that the screwdriver was found in the bushes? Like, that's a key distinction. Oh, we found a screwdriver in the bushes. Oh, okay, good. We'll report that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and report that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they found a screwdriver in the bushes. Screwdriver was a key part of the story. They couldn't figure out how he got the rifle up and down. Well, let's go to when the screwdriver was discovered. We have a guy. We have a guy who will tell us when the screwdriver was recovered. His name is Officer Bagley. This guy sucks. I'm sorry. This story is terrible. He had so many pieces of his story that were just awful. But let's go and hear what Officer Bagley has to say about finding this critical piece of evidence that we now know is the only thing that ties Tyler Robinson to the roof.
Body cam footage that I reviewed appears to end while you're still on the roof. Do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right at that moment.
Okay. And
oh, man, I was ready for my Kodak moment, sir. I had my body cam footage. It was active. It was going. I had a good battery behind it. I'm a cop. I'm not Barney Fife. I'm a real live officer. They let me keep my bullets in my gun. And then I get to the scene of the crime. I make the discovery of a lifetime. The only piece of evidence on the planet that ties Tyler Robinson to the roof. We'll learn in a second why that's the only piece of evidence that ties him to the roof. But the only piece of evidence on the planet that ties him to the roof, oh, doggone it, my battery died. What unfortunate timing. Can you believe it? It's unbelievable. So what happened in the intermediate time? Why was it so important? Why was it so important that his screwdriver be on the roof and not anywhere else? Well, we've got the DNA lady. That probably didn't come out right. We got the lady who performed the DNA analysis. We got the lady who reported the DNA analysis, and she'll tell us just how important it was that this screwdriver was on the roof. She'll imply why it's so important.
So for the first 6 items, those were swabs that were taken from the northeast corner of the Losi building, correct?
Correct, yes.
And you used all of the swabs, and you concluded that there was no DNA present on any of those items, correct?
That is correct.
So you couldn't do any comparative testing.
Correct. There was nothing for me to compare to.
Okay. And what did you have left after you did that?
Oh, I guess we just figured it out. This lady did the DNA testing. She tested sweat drops. She tested fingerprint areas where he had, whoever was up there allegedly had touched and left some sort of appreciable quantity of fingerprints and stuff, and was not able to find any usable DNA, no what they call matchable DNA. In other words, it just was not any good. That's their story, and they're sticking to it. And keep in mind, DNA is awfully subjective. It's not like you see on CSI Miami. I don't know what's popular. It's the last time I watched TV was in CSI Miami was on TV. But you know, on CSI Miami, they run it through and go boop, Baron Coleman DNA. Pop, 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 pop. It's like flashing screen. It's not the way it works in the real world. In the real world, somebody's looking and going, that's kind of the same shade of gray. That kind of looks about the same length. They're like holding up items for comparison. Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, okay, we'll call it a day. Tyler Robinson it is. And that's how it works in the real world. Well, what do we know about when the DNA results came back? They came back on like the 13th or the 14th. They came back after they told us the screwdriver was found in the woods. They tell us all day, investigators are telling their news buddies, hey, you want a hot tip? We found a screwdriver. It's in the woods. Oh, in the woods? Yeah, it's in the woods. Next to the gun. Oh, in the woods next to the gun. Yeah, that's right. So they run out and report that. DNA lady comes back a couple days later, is like, hey, guys, bad news. There's no DNA on the roof. Oh, crap. I know. Let's put the screwdriver on the roof. Yeah, but Bagley, Bagley, camera was running the whole time. Well, let's just kill his camera. Oh, okay. Just have him tell people his camera died. Okay, camera died before I saw the screwdriver. Got it. I don't know if that's what happened, but that makes more sense to me than guy runs on roof and camera dies an hour into his shift. That makes a lot more sense to me than that. These camera batteries that are designed to last 10, 12, 14 hours, he's on shift an hour and 44 minutes and his camera dies. There's no beeping. There's no notification. We still don't know whether he called in and reported his camera died, as is protocol in many jurisdictions. No, we're just told it died. It just shut off. They were watching it. They saw it. And then all of a sudden it was gone. And lo and behold, right before he discovered the screwdriver on the roof. If you were going to frame somebody, and I'm not suggesting they did, but if you were going to frame somebody, this would be the exact way to do it. Find a piece of evidence that wasn't on the roof. Realize you can't tie him to the roof in any other way because the sweat drop comes back and we can't tell it's him. The fingerprints come back. We can't tell it's him. We can't put him on the roof any other way. Throw the screwdriver on the roof, but the screwdriver wasn't on the roof. That's okay. That's okay. Put it up there anyway. That's kind of what it seems like happened. I don't know if that's what happened. I'm just telling you it kind of seems that way. If we're being honest, it seems like DNA lady called back to headquarters and was like, hey, guys, there's no DNA up there. Yeah, no, you can't. And then Bagley's like, oh, my gosh. Well, he looks like Bigfoot. Well, we can't charge him as Bigfoot, so we got to put something on the roof. Well, we do have this stupid screwdriver. Oh, put a screwdriver up there. Why don't we put the gun up there? Because the people know the gun's not up there. Okay, well, we'll put the screwdriver up there. Yeah, roger that. And then they have to come up with this absurd story. Oh, he must have been assembling the rifle up there. That's why he had the screwdriver, you see. What about the fingerprints? Can't we just put him up there with the fingerprint? Well, no. Officer Kalawala was up there talking about the fingerprints. And they had a stipulation that the fingerprints were not Tyler Robinson's.
This is a good point to read a stipulation into the record.
All right.
The language of this has been agreed upon by the parties. The parties stipulate that investigators at the crime scene observed latent fingerprints and a palm print on a glass window near the area where the individual landed when the individual jumped from the rooftop of the Low-C Center at UVU. SBI fingerprint examiner Elisa Farmer examined images of these latent fingerprints and the palm print and determined that only 3 of the latent prints, 11B, 11C, and 11D, were of comparable or of poor comparable value. She excluded Tyler Robinson as the source of any of these 3 latent prints. Ms. Farmer reviewed other prints on the window and found that they did not have adequate value for comparison. Subsequent examinations of these 3 actual latent prints by the FBI were inconclusive.
All right. So we can't put them there from fingerprints. We had fingerprints. We had usable fingerprints. You guys remember early on, within days, you had all these people and they'd show up and they had their cameras on like 15-foot poles and they were looking on the roof. Remember that? Because they had the roof blocked off. Couldn't get up there. So everybody went and they grabbed these poles. And these poles had their cameras on the top of them, and they went up and they were looking over the ledge, and you could see legitimate fingerprints on the ledge. Because when the guy Spider-Man'd off the roof, he grabbed the ledge with his hand. It's not something you want a leather glove between you and death. You want your paws up there, right? You want the actual grit of your paws. And he's Spider-Manning down. And so and they dusted, of course, for prints. They took DNA, and none of it matched back to Tyler Robinson. And so they had a problem on their hands. Because I promise you, we could go back and find the footage of independent investigators out there with cameras on 15-foot poles leaning over the edge, and you could see the fingerprints. And like, those are clean fingerprints. They'll be able to match those to Tyler Robinson. That's going to be the definitive proof he was up there. Well, lo and behold, they weren't able to do it. They were able to get fingerprints off the glass, off the ledge. They were able to get fingerprints, not all, but some of them, but they couldn't match them to Tyler Robinson. They don't know who was Spider-Manning off the roof. Could have been someone else on another day. Someone Spider-Man yesterday. I don't know. They didn't catch it on camera, but as soon as they realized, wait a minute, there's no DNA, there's no fingerprints. All this information came in between September 11th and September 15th. It was all came in like September 13th and 14th. That's when they came back with the DNA and the fingerprints. And that's when Kash Patel goes on camera on September 15th saying, oh yeah, we found that. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's on the roof. No doubt it was on the roof. What about the handrail? You would think the handrail would be a pretty easy thing to identify, right? I mean, that doesn't look like it's going to be much of a problem. The handrail? I mean, we saw him grab the handrail in the photos. He had a bare hand on. He wasn't wearing gloves. What about the handrail? Were we able to get DNA at least? Maybe we can't put them on the roof, but maybe we put them on the stairs walking up to the roof?
They were both labeled as coming from the same stairwell, and they were packaged together. So our policies and procedures is that we can combine those two together.
And when you do that, you create a mixture, right?
I don't know that I would agree that combining the two would create a mixture. Given the item of evidence, a stairwell railing, I don't necessarily expect that one swab would have one person, the second swab would have a different second person, and combining the two of them creates a mixture. However, I don't know that for certain, but again, I don't know is DNA present, so our procedure is to combine and consume those swabs.
And in this case, when you did that, what you got was a complex mixture, right?
I did. I got DNA from more than 5 individuals, so I could not provide a conclusion.
Well, that's too bad. Now we can't put them in the stairwell either. Can't put them in the stairwell. Can't put them on the roof. Can't put them on the stairwell with DNA. Can't put them on the roof with DNA or fingerprints. Well, surely we could just watch the video. Benny Johnson told me it was 4D, 4K HD. It was like being there. It was like rewatching the whole thing over again. I could see his finger slowly pulling the trigger back until it popped. We know that didn't happen. Because Officer Bagley tells us what he saw when he looked at the camera. Just a reminder, we're having trouble. Again, why do we need to put the screwdriver on the roof? We're just going through the fact that nothing else puts them on the roof. Literally nothing else puts them on the roof. It's screwdriver or bust for these people. It's the only thing you're going to put them on the roof.
You watched the video where you saw an individual up on the roof,
Yes.
right? And that individual was in the vicinity where you saw the disturbance in the gravel.
Yes.
And when you looked at that video, were you able to identify the individual's face?
I know.
Were you able to identify any markings on their clothing?
I know.
Were you able to identify their height?
No.
When we looked at the picture of I think you called it the sniper perch. I'm going to use your words. It looked like there was a measuring tape laid out next to it. Were you present when they measured like the distance, like how tall that person would have been?
I was not.
So you don't know what that is?
I don't.
Were you able to tell the person's weight from the video that you saw?
I can tell he wasn't heavy set. So
Okay.
More of a skinnier person.
Could you identify what shoes they were wearing?
I could not.
Could you identify anything about a hat or what was on their head?
At the moment, no, I couldn't.
We were told this was HD definitive proof that it was Tyler Robinson. That's what all the social media influencers told us. That's what Officer Tater Tot told us. That's what Intel agent Jack Posobiec told us. We were told this was definitive proof that it was Tyler Robinson on the roof. It left no doubt, open and shut case. But the video doesn't put him on the roof. The fingerprints don't put him on the roof. The DNA doesn't put him on the roof. Doesn't even put him in the stairwell. Well, can we at least put him in possession of a firearm up on the roof? I mean, we've got to have him up there with something. What, did he throw rocks at him? Are we suggesting he hit a slingshot? I mean, you got to put a firearm in his hands, right? Officer Bagley, surely you're able to tell with definition that we at least have a firearm up there, because the firearm we know had Tyler Robinson's DNA on it. So therefore, if you can put a firearm in his hands up there, at least you know somebody up there. That might be a piece of DNA you could transport back in time up there.
And did you see a gun in the video?
I saw a long black object in the left hand as he was running over across the roof.
And in fact, did you describe that in your report as a bag?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why.
Oh, doggone it. Couldn't even put a gun in his hand up there. I saw an object. It was long. It was black. But you said in your report it was a bag. Well, bag, schmag, bag, gun. 6 on one hand, half a dozen on the other, ma'am. He wasn't heavy set like you are. Let's go back and look at that real quick. I want to go back and look at this 4D, HD, extra quality footage that these guys were able to play in the courtroom, because this is devastating stuff if you've got a gun in his hand. Actually, you know what? Daisy, don't we have the actual footage in the folder? Let me pull that. That'd be easier. I don't want anyone to say, "But you're playing it at a projector. I had a cleaner version somewhere." I'll take that argument out of your hands, ma'am, sir. We'll just completely take. Oh, not that one. We'll completely take that argument out of your hands. Let me go back and pull the original footage downloaded from the FBI website. This will basically just nail down that this is not what we were told. But I don't want to be accused of is that the right one? No, that's not it either. Maybe I'll have to play that one. I don't have it. I don't know where it is. All right, I'll play the other one. We're going to be accused of messing with this here, and we're not. I mean, it's just we have the original one somewhere, but it's no cleaner than this. I was just going to play it to be a smart aleck. But we have here in this footage, Tyler Robinson allegedly.
Do you believe this to be Mr.
One of the Tylers running across the roof here. And we have him flopping around up here. What's the time on that? Oh, 20 minutes. We're getting close. Oh, went too far. Went too far back. I should have had this done. But oh, there he is. All right. So we have him going to run across here in just a second. He's going to appear behind here. There he comes out. He's coming out behind the little atrium thing. He's coming over to the white triangle there in the distance. And he Spider-Man's off. Clear as mud. Plain as day. Plain as day. If you can't see a gun in that picture, you're out of your mind. That is the cleanest image I've ever seen of a firearm. According to Officer Tater Tot. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to go find that. I'll find it. I have the original FBI video footage somewhere. See if I can find it. There it is. Look at that. HD 4K. Super impressive quality. All right, here we go. Let's watch. Let's watch together. So there he is running behind. By the way, I think we calculated like a 6-minute mile pace. That's a pretty good that's like 10 miles an hour he's running. Keep in mind, he's wearing head to toe gear, running on gravel. Apparently, does anyone see a firearm in his hand? Anywhere? See a firearm in his hand anywhere? Back it up. I see no long black anything in his hand as he's running across the roof. Now they zoom in. I still see no long black firearm in his hand. I see a bag or something there. But watch when he hits the ground. This thing flops. Imagine a 42 or 43-inch long firearm hitting the ground at this speed that you're about to watch here. What would it look like? Would it flop like that? I mean, that thing, half of it's laying on the ground and half of it's bent at like a 90-degree angle coming up in his hand. And then he just snatches it off the ground and runs up. Where is the gun? It's literally swaying as he runs. I'll slow it down. Again, I don't want to be accused of like favoring anybody here. I just want to try to get to the truth. Well, slow it down as he goes here. Lays down whatever that is, kind of in the gutter there on the side of the roof. Kind of. There's the Spider-Man action. This is where these people on the other side are so dishonest. He didn't have to Spider-Man the roof. He just walked up the stairs. Yeah, but he didn't walk down the stairs, you big dummy. He didn't walk down the stairs. He Spider-Maned off the building. No, sorry. There he goes. He's swinging his right foot down. He gets a little foothold, I think, on the ledge here maybe. Look, right there, his entire body weight. Look at this. When he comes off, his entire body weight, right there. His feet are connected to nothing. They're both swinging. His entire body weight is held by his sole left hand. And we're told that left hand is also holding a gun. Nonsense. There's his right hand swinging around. So his whole body weight is on his left hand. He's got some kind of towel or something in his hand again because it's like fans out as he drags it around. Then he drops off the building. He's on the ledge. He falls down. Now watch this. I'm going to pause it. Watch. Okay, so he hits. His whole body hits the ground, and whatever that is in his hand, it doesn't bounce. It doesn't rebound. You don't see physics acting on it. It just flops. It just flops. Then he picks it up, and it bent, and it's just swinging in the wind. Where's the gun? It's just swinging around. Look at it. I mean, maybe. I think that's pretty thin. I think I would have trouble walking out of court and be like, yeah, I'm convinced. Never been more convinced about anything in my entire life. This is probably the most evidence I've ever seen in a court case. What? You can't even tell a gun was fired. Go back to Luigi Mangione. At least you saw a guy, utilize some mechanism and somebody fell down in front of him. You didn't even see that on that video footage. You saw a guy, a little pixel, and then the pixel moved this way, and then the pixel sort of Spider-Maned off the building. And so that's where we are. That's where we were on September 13th and 14th. We had a screwdriver in the woods, per investigators, according to the investigators, we had a screwdriver in the woods. We had no DNA. We had no fingerprints in the stairwell, no fingerprints on the roof, no DNA in the stairwell, no DNA on the roof, no sweat drops, nothing. And you had a video footage that you couldn't even tell was a human being for most of it. And by the time you can tell it's a human being, you can't tell who it is. You don't know, is he white? Is he black? Is he Hispanic? Is he from Tonga? I don't know. No idea where this guy's from. I know nothing about him. All I know is he's not fat, per Officer Bagley, who, to be fair, is an expert in heavyset. Sees it every morning. Every time he looks in the mirror, he knows what heavyset looks like. So he's an expert. I'd love to see his PE test results. PT test results, excuse me. And so you have now the screwdriver is the only thing on campus. The only thing that puts him definitively on that roof. And it got there because Kash Patel said it was there. And then later, 10 months later, Officer Bagley agrees it was up there. But the only way he can put it there is to tell you his body cam footage died right before he saw it. Oh, man. Some of the worst luck we've ever had. So let's go back to see, can we even put Tyler Robinson on campus at all? Well, we got maroon shirt Tyler here. We got maroon shirt and blue short Tyler. This is one of the Tylers in parking level 2. And one of the Tylers there. We've got black Tyler. We'll call this black Tyler. We've got Tyler in black jeans and a black long sleeve shirt with a black backpack. There's black Tyler getting ready to walk into the same parking garage, as a matter of fact. Black shirt. It looks like blue jeans, I suppose. Maybe those could be considered black jeans, but they look kind of blue jeanish to me. So that's 2 different Tylers. Now we have hybrid Tyler, right? We've got maroon shirt, blue jorts Tyler. We've got black shirt, blue jeans Tyler. Now we've got hybridized Tyler. This is Tyler 3.0 coming in strong. He still got the maroon shirt on, but now he's wearing blue jeans. A little piece of each, a little mix and match. Like a guy who eats only chicken tenders, only wears maroon shirts, except when he's out and assassinating. Then he'll put on a long sleeve black t-shirt. Other than that, he's a maroon shirt guy. He's a maroon shirt guy unless he's got to do some wet works. We had a vehicle that they tell us is his on campus. They promised us, they double pinky swear that it's his. They could have just showed us the license plate. That would have been easy. But they didn't. Instead, they go with the kind of looks like a car he might drive.
On September 10th, 2025.
And what leads you to believe this particular vehicle belongs to Mr. Robinson?
Information that was provided regards to driver's license and Department of Motor Vehicle records. The vehicle fits the description of a vehicle owned by Mr. Robinson.
The vehicle fits the description, meaning it's a gray Dodge Challenger. And as we know, it's the only gray Dodge Challenger ever produced. It's a 1 of 1. What'd you say? Oh, it's not. It's not 1 of 1. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I assumed when he said that he was using the vehicle's description, gray Dodge Challenger, to put Tyler Robinson on campus. I assumed it was the only one ever produced. I'm now learning there were tens of thousands of them sold. Well, why didn't you just look at his license plate? Wouldn't that have been a better indicator than gray Dodge Challenger? No, we can't have that. That would be too definitive. That might actually put him on campus. Yeah, but they didn't do the plate match. And we know they didn't because we have additional testimony here.
Go forth regarding this interaction at that intersection?
I did, yes.
Okay. And what time was that interaction? I'm sorry. Did I ask you that?
It was approximately 12:30 a.m.
Okay. On the 11th?
On September 11th, 2025.
So you talked to Officer Goforth about that contact on the corner on that, during the early morning hours of the 11th.
Correct.
And what did Officer Goforth tell you about that interaction?
It was an interaction that I guess cop intuition, but there was something about the interaction that made him make a note of the license plate of the vehicle, and then subsequently, when information was available that vehicle or a vehicle matching the description of that was involved in the incident, he ran the information that he had obtained from the stop and was able to identify that it was registered to Mr. Robinson, and he had in fact had contact with Mr. Robinson on the morning of September 11th, 2025.
The information that he ran, do you know what information when you say that, he ran information?
Yes, he ran a partial plate.
Oh, he didn't even have the whole plate. He didn't even have the whole plate. But he was sure it was him. This Officer Goforth. Now, I will note that Agent Hull here woke up. I'm sure this had to be a surprise that he was going to testify. He must have learned that morning. There's no way he knew 2 weeks ahead of time he was going to testify. You know how I know that? You know how I know that? David Hull could not possibly have known he was going to testify until the morning of the hearing. Because he came with that haircut. Like he could have, in 2 weeks, you could have fixed that. You could have looked like a cop. Instead, you look like a backup singer for the Flock of Seagulls. I guess in Utah, that passes for professional. I don't know, but where I've worked in the past, that wouldn't have cut it. No, you got to go home. You can't come here today like that. You're gonna have to cut that back. Yeah, we're not letting you have the. Oh gosh, what was that? What there was a name of that? I don't know, man. There was a name of the haircut. That was a popular haircut like 5 years ago, and it was like all the alt-right people had that haircut. Officer Hull, do you want to tell us where you were on January 6th? Oh, sorry. And so you don't even have a whole license plate. Now, this is the 12:30 a.m. stop. This is the 12:30 a.m. stop. You don't even have a license plate. So we don't have any license plate during the day. We just have a vehicle description that kind of looks like a Dodge Challenger. We ran Tyler Robinson's name through the Department of Motor Vehicles, and we got back that he drove a Dodge Challenger. Oh, that looks like a Dodge Challenger. Got to be him. Only one of those made. Daisy said it looks like the singer Pink. The haircut. Yeah, it kind of does. Kind of does. Well, surely, all the things that we can put our hope and faith in to put them on that dadgum roof, we got to get them on the roof, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, our hopes and dreams that Tyler Robinson somehow was involved in this is a magic screwdriver that somehow in 4 days has flown, ladies and gentlemen, from the woods next to the gun to the top of the roof, just about the time all the evidence collapsed all around him. They're going to have a field day with this at trial, by the way. They're going to have a field day with this at trial. Surely, Fluffy, Lance Twiggs, the furry, can definitively, finally put this thing to bed. Tell me that's him on the roof.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
All right. All 6 images are available to him. He can see the faces in all 6 images at this moment. Do you recognize the person? That's the question on the table to Lance Twiggs. Do you recognize this person?
I wouldn't say it with 100% certainty. Just
Fido can't even put him on the roof. Sir, can you take your ears off? We're in a deposition. Can you take the fur ears off and give it another gander? Because, sir, if you can't state with 100% certainty, the judge may not send this to trial. You're the only guy we're left with here.
Because of
the DNA has broken down, the sweat has broken down, the fingerprints have broken down. You can't see anything on the video footage. Come on, Lance, give it another look. Come on, Lance.
Camera quality, but that looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses. I don't think I'd specifically seen him wearing that hat.
I mean, he's got clothes on, officer. Is this enough? What do you need? A man's got on jeans and shoes. Come on. He was a big hat guy, officer. He loved hats. Not that hat in particular. I've never seen that hat. I lived with him for a long time. And he wore hats every day, but for some reason, I've never seen that hat.
But he was usually wearing a hat.
Nah, but he liked hats. Come on, officer. Now, he's not walking up naked. That would be very unlike Tyler. Tyler always had clothes on. Always had clothes. Jeans, shorts, shoes, hats.
And then jeans. So it
guys.
Definitely, especially the bottom, the last 2.
Yeah. Notice you can't see hardly anything about what's going on with him when all of a sudden a sound from heaven comes down and lands on Lance Twiggs. Angels, a choir of angels opens up. Oh, yeah. It definitely looks like him on those last 2. Well, sir, you were looking at the last 2 when you said you couldn't identify him. We were just here moments ago. You said you couldn't identify him in those last 2 pictures. I had the last 2 pictures on the screen, and you were You were coming up with, he's got shoes on. He has an affinity for hats. You see now why they had to move the screwdriver? You see why the screwdriver was so important? So important, Officer Bagley's camera footage must have died or something. You get it? You get it? Because if you're going to put him on the roof, you got to have something putting him there. You can't have no contact. This is their lock solid, bulletproof case. This is the most confident case they've ever brought in courtroom history. Clarence Darrow and F. Lee Bailey themselves would look at this case and be like, I can't defend that. No, this is too lock solid. Are you kidding me? And screwdriver? How am I going to argue with a screwdriver? They found a screwdriver on the roof, right? I mean, it's over. Open and shut. There's no video footage of him taking the shot. His roommate can't really identify who he is. He's in 3 different outfits. The screwdriver originally was over by the bushes, but now it's up on the roof. I mean, how could you even begin to construct a defense on a case like that? Anybody questioning this is like the people questioning Sandy Hook. These people are con men. They're frauds. This is the most solid case in the history of mankind. So let's go back and take a closer look at. Let's take a closer look at Bagley here, because we have radio dispatch of Bagley, believe it or not. We have Bagley on the radio. About the time he gets to the roof, he's describing the scenery up there. He's letting us know what's going on. Of course, you're going to hear him talk about a screwdriver. Probably. Maybe. Come on, Bags, come through for us, man. We're trying to put the guy in jail. Tell me you mentioned the screwdriver.
I got an imprint of a body laying, knee, head, looks like elbow, so something was right here.
No, something was right here. Knees, elbows. Is that how they say it in Utah? Elbows? He's got elbows, ladies and gentlemen. ELBASs. Elbows. Knees, elbows.
Any casing? I do not see a casing.
No casing. No casing. That's okay. That's a bolt action rifle. We don't need a casing. That's a red herring. Tell us about the screwdriver, sir.
But it is straight on. I'm just to the south of you. Can you direct us? We got 2 guys running in. 3J's reporting from UHP, a motorcycle wrong way.
Wait a minute. We're moving on to motorcycles on the highway? Where's the screwdriver, Officer Bagley? You found foot and knee imprints? Elbows? But no screwdriver? Oh, man, this is not going to go well. We're going to have to tell him your body camera footage died. Am I suggesting he lied? Well, I'm suggesting his story changed. I am. I'm suggesting the story changed. The story originally had the screwdriver in the bushes, and now the screwdriver is allegedly on the roof. But the guy who got to the roof did not describe seeing a screwdriver initially. He described everything else, but not a screwdriver. Then, who was up on the roof with you, sir? This is very important. It is just going to be critical to this case. We have to know, were you alone up there? Could somebody else have been up there fiddling around with the scene? Could somebody else have been up there making it look like somebody was up there? I don't even think the guy dropped a screwdriver up there, because I don't think there was a screwdriver ever up there. I mean, a lot of people are speculating, oh, well, they turned the body camera footage off and someone threw the screwdriver down. I don't even think so. I don't think there was a screwdriver there to begin with. So let's listen to who was on the roof with him. We know this, and this is going to be important in a second, because we actually have footage of this moment in just a second.
And it appears to me from reviewing your body camera that there was another individual who was with you that went to the Losi building who was in civilian clothing but appeared to have a gun. Who was that?
I don't know who he was exactly. He had a badge on, and I had somebody with me to back me up as I ran up the stairs to make sure I had somebody with me.
So you.
That's unfortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not been post certified, meaning I've not been to Peace Officer Standards Training School, but I have a boatload of common sense, a boatload. And I am well aware you can buy badges online. Nah, I mean, you can buy badges for every department in the country. You can go just about anywhere and get a badge. I could be a U.S. Marshal. I could be a member of the FBI. I could be State Bureau of Tennessee, Texas, Utah. Just about any podunk town in America, I can get a badge to. That's who you were on the roof with. Okay, but that's him only. Okay, that's what he says. Only that
You
guy.
don't know what agency he's from or where he's from.
No.
And it looked like he had a pistol.
Yes.
Is that right?
A handgun, yes.
Or a handgun. And so the two of you go to the Losi building.
Yes.
When you reviewed the videotape at the police department later, did you check to see if anyone had been on the Losi building after the shooting, after this individual had jumped off that you've already talked about? Was there anybody else on the roof? Did you check and see in that gap of time?
In that gap of time, no. So once I put up the barrier, I only walked up to about that point. Then I went down and reviewed the video from that moment on.
So are you able to say for one way or the other, if anyone else had been on that roof in between when the person jumped off the building and when you came on the roof, are you able to say one way or the other?
There was people up there looking for an individual that ran that way, because when I first got told the individual ran heading north, that we didn't know where the shooter was. So we started climbing up and looking, clearing the building. And it wasn't until I went to the PD and actually saw him jump off of the building that I knew he was off the building.
Let me rephrase that, because I think I either asked it badly or you misunderstood me. So let me go back again. So from the time
That was a very polite way of saying, are you being an idiot right now? Are you being obstinate? Or are you really this stupid? There are 2 points in time, sir. Point A and point B. I'm asking about the time between them. Point A is when the guy jumped off the roof. Point B is when you showed up. Everything between the guy jumping off the roof and you showing up is what I'm asking about. Can you say if anyone else was on that roof?
that the individual that you spotted on the video jumped off the roof, right? The individual that you thought was in the prone position.
Okay.
Between that and when you got on the roof, did you ever check to see if anybody else had been on the roof in that period of time?
Yeah, and I didn't see anybody.
So you
I
did
didn't
watch.
notice anybody.
You didn't. Did you look on the video to see that entire? Okay, that's what I'm asking. So you did not review the video to see if there was someone between you, that individual jumping off, and you coming on, if anybody had been on or disturbed that scene in any way. Okay. But once you put the tape up, then we're confident from that point on the scene was preserved, right? By the way, where did you get that tape?
Officers responded on the scene that he was down on the bottom and threw it up to me. So
Okay. So you didn't have it on you?
No.
And you didn't leave the scene to go get it?
No.
Someone threw it up?
Yes.
Great.
So the only people on the roof are him and plainclothes guy with what could be a fake badge and a handgun. That's the only person he identifies on the roof. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have footage from nearly that exact moment in time. Like from almost the exact moment in time. He says he got to the roof at 12:44 or 12:45. 12:44 or 12:45. Well, we have been able to, through the inimitable Life is Driving, we've been able to go back in time and look, because very conveniently he was filming that exact moment in time. And we could tell how many people are on the roof. This is not like difficult to do. We can count. You can, if you got one hand, you can count all the people up there. So here he is wandering around. This is just a couple of minutes after when he said he went up there. And you can see that's the Losi Center in the background. And there's one guy right there standing at the top. Now, we don't know if that's Bagley or plainclothes guy or somebody else. We're not going to make the mistake that Benny Johnson and Officer Tater Tot and undercover intelligence asset Jack Posobiec are making. No, we're not going to make that mistake. We're not going to look at 2 pixels on a screen and say, oh, I know exactly what's going on up there, because I don't. But I do know that's a person. I know that's a person. And I know there's one person there. So we keep watching. We keep watching. Let me kill the sound here. And then he gets a little closer. And he gets a little closer. We're going to go about another minute. Oh, our guy's missing. Where'd he go? Our guy is missing at this point. He's nowhere to be found. That is the Losi building there. We see no people. So we go forward a little bit more. We're now about 3 or 4 minutes after he said he arrived. Oh, there's a buddy. There's somebody. Look, we have somebody on the roof. There's a guy right there. And he looks less pixelated in this view, if we're being honest. He looks less pixelated. He's on the roof. But here are 2 other people on the roof. There's a guy there and a guy there. See this middle level? There's a guy there on the roof. There's a guy here on the roof. There's a guy up here on the roof. Okay, so there's 3, but only one on the top level. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So we allow the situation to develop just a little more. That's a good view of whoever that is. That does not look like Officer Bagley, if I'm being honest. Because we had an image of what Officer Bagley was wearing. He had a dark shirt on. This guy has a light shirt on. That could be plain clothes, unknown agency guy. Well, really, it could be anybody. I have no idea who that guy is. So now look, a maroon shirt. Now we wander around to the other side of the building. We're going to walk up this way. We're a couple minutes away now. We get to the side. This is so nice of Life is Driving to have captured absolutely every critical moment of this crime in a stunning 4K detail. So now he's kind of positioning himself here. We're going to get a view of more officers on the roof. Oh, what are those 3 people doing? What are those 3 people doing? That's 3 people on the roof. You see them here? See this atrium thing on the top of the roof? This large glass structure on the top of the roof? Look to the left of it. Again, I'm not going to pull a tater tot. I'm not going to tell you this is stunning 4K HD. I can count the nose hairs in each nostril. But I'll be honest, and I can say I have lived long enough that I can count to 3. I can count to 3. I can do it on one hand. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. I can count it this way. 1, 2, 3. And I can count it this way. 1, 2, 3. I can count 3 different ways on one hand. I could even kind of do it like the Texas Aggies do it if you need me to. I mean, there's lots of ways I can do it. I can do it that way. I can get really weird and do it Erica Kirk style. I mean, I can count to 3 as many ways as you need me to. But I know that's more than 2. But surely those are the only 3. He wouldn't be off by 100%, would he? Would he? Please? Please tell me you're not off by 100%. Oh, goodness gracious. Are you off by 100%? What's that on the right side of this atrium here? What's this thing right here? Is that another person? Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's grainy footage. Oh, it is a person. Dadgummit, there's 4 people up there. This is the time period where he's telling you only 2 people were on the roof. There's 4 people on the roof. In fact, he had to get the tape thrown up to him because no one else was up there. Now, I can only count to 4 so many ways. You know, you're running out of fingers. I can count to 3 a lot of ways, but 4, I'm kind of limited. But that's a 4th person on the roof. And I'll say this, none of these guys are wearing light shirts, which puts a 5th person on the roof. All 4 of these people have dark shirts on. So plain clothes, white shirt guy or light shirt guy isn't even accounted for here. We don't know where he is. We don't know if he's still on the roof. We don't know if he himself is Spider-Man off the roof. Did he take the stairs? Did he take the lift? That's for you British people. We have no idea what's going on at this moment in time. But we know there are twice as many people on that roof within about 3 minutes of when Mr. Bagley said that there were only 2 people on the roof. I have a real problem with that, if we're being honest. I have a real issue with that, if we're being honest. Because here's what this comes down to. There is no hard evidence that Tyler Robinson was on that roof with a 30-06, that he engaged the 30-06 and took Charlie Kirk's life with it. There's no evidence. It takes a great deal of faith. I have to believe you. I have to believe what you say. That what you say you found was where you said you found it. I have a hard time believing that when your body cam footage dies an hour and 44 minutes into your shift, right at the most critical moment of the investigation. I have a hard time believing that when you radio in that you've discovered a sniper perch, you're looking for a shell, but you didn't mention the dadgum screwdriver you just found. You remembered it enough to talk about it at the hearing, but you don't remember it to talk about it here. I have a hard time believing you guys when the screwdriver allegedly, at least investigators were telling reporters that the screwdriver was in the bushes until such a time that the DNA and fingerprints came back and nothing tied Tyler Robinson to the roof, and all of a sudden the screwdriver magically appears on the roof. See, if I'm sitting in the witness stand, if I'm sitting in the jury box and you're asking me to trust you, you can't do this. You can't be this wrong on this many points. At a certain point, you lose all credibility. I don't have to trust you anymore. And this is the problem with this whole case. It all comes down to a matter of trust. Do I trust what you're telling me? They opened talking about the TPUSA people, whether they were involved in some way, either before or after, involved in planning and executing or involved in some sort of cover-up. I don't know. But if you want me to believe you weren't, don't get caught lying all the time. Be honest people. Be forthcoming. I was talking to somebody today, and he said, I have a hard time believing that at some point TPUSA doesn't just call an emergency meeting and say, guys, from this point forward, nobody tells a lie, particularly on anything not consequential. Like if it comes out of your mouth, it's the truth. It has to be. You can't possibly be caught being dishonest at all. Because if you are, people are using that dishonesty to doubt us. They're casting aspersions on us. And why wouldn't they? We're being dishonest. We've been caught time and time again being dishonest. And that's a problem. It's messy. You're making a clean case messy by being dishonest. I think had TPUSA never been caught in any kind of fibs, if they'd been straightforward from the beginning with every aspect of this case, I think we're sitting in a different posture here 10 months and 11 days after the event. But when you have people changing their stories, not remembering where they were, not acting, frankly, like people who should be, how people should be acting in the immediate aftermath. I played that video Sunday night of everybody sort of moseying into the hospital. Danny Phillip, Mikey McCoy, Blake Neff. Who else was with them? Nate Walker. They're just sort of moseying into the hospital. Not in any particular hurry. No real explanation of where they'd been, what time they got there, why they had to call each other on the phone for 10 minutes. None of this has been explained. We raised the question of where were people in the immediate aftermath? Where were you when you got the news? I remember where I was. I was sitting right here looking at, well, it's a different computer, but I was looking at a computer screen right there. Almost exactly where this computer screen is now. And that's where I got the news. A friend of mine called. He knew Charlie. Knew him well. And he was devastated. He couldn't believe it. And I have a hard time believing the people that were there with them don't have a pretty keen recollection of what happened that day, where they were that night, where they were that morning. But they don't. And I have a problem with the fact that there's no understanding that when you have a really high-profile political assassination, and it's not cut and dry. And some political assassinations are pretty cut and dry, but most aren't. Most are complex. Most have some underlying questions. And there's always a suspicion when there's a high-profile political assassination that there's something bigger happening. Right? The attack on Gerald Ford by one of the Manson family members. He actually had 2 attacks on his life in a very short period of time, like a month. It makes you wonder if there wasn't somebody looking to take him out, other than the 2 crazy people who tried. The attack on Ronald Reagan, it makes you wonder, was there somebody who was trying to take him out? The killing of John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, RFK, Malcolm X. Is there some common theme, or was there some individual circumstances around each one of those that was bigger than the individual person who was alleged to have done it? Something bigger than Sirhan Sirhan, something bigger than James Earl Ray, something bigger than Lee Harvey Oswald. You can't fault people for asking the question. You can't fault people who get all lathered up because one of the people they liked or they respected, or they're just terrified that, oh my gosh, high profile political figures are being picked off on this country. We need to get a handle on what's happening here. You can't blame them for asking the question, especially when, as we discussed tonight, the evidence doesn't seem to make sense. Looks like things are being shuffled around in order to blame somebody. Looks like, it's just hard for most people to believe a guy drives on campus at 8:30, wanders around, drives off campus, immediately walks back on campus, wanders around, walks off campus, immediately walks back on campus, and he's in 3 different outfits. It's hard for people to believe. It's just hard for people to believe. Hard for people to believe that he comes on campus, makes contact with a TPUSA representative, walks back to his car, drives off, but just long enough to park and turn around and walk right back, and then decides he'd like a Chick-fil-A. That's, and then he gets back off campus, changes clothes again, gets a different backpack, limps back in 0.72 miles from where he parked, and then gets in the prone position, takes a shot. It's a weird set of circumstances. So when we're asking these questions, the best thing you can do is be honest. Here's where I was. Here's who I was with. Here's how you can prove it. It's natural for people to ask the closest, when evidence isn't adding up, when there's too much weirdness going on, when you literally carried the guy by his shirt and pants to the car and literally chucked him in the car like a side of beef. I'm not going to show it because it's gruesome. The footage is out there. You can watch it. And when you watch it, keep in mind there was no one on the other side to receive him when they chucked him in the car like a side of beef. I have more respect for a dead dog. I don't think I would chuck a dog in a car like that who's already dead. I mean, there was no one on the other side. It's not like somebody was like, here, I got him, hand him off to me, and then we'll slow. No, everyone who was assisting was on this side. They opened the door and started shoving him in the car before hightailing it out of there, 60, 80, or 100 miles down the road. And along the way thought, we should update a podcaster in Florida. Ben Shapiro lives in Florida. He's a podcaster. We should call him. We should call him and let him know what's going on. You look at all these inconsistencies, you look at all these open questions, and then someone says, well, where were you that day? And you go, I don't tell you, you sicko. What are you, a stalker? That's a weird reaction, sir. I think it's a pretty legitimate question right now that something weird happened here. May or may not be Tyler Robinson, but while we're asking the questions and while all the evidence looks a little weird, maybe you could enlighten us on where you were. Well, I was on an airplane. That's what I learned. You could read the New York Times. I was on the airplane. That's where I learned he died. Well, why did everybody else on the planet know an hour before your airplane took off? Oh, well, maybe I was somewhere else. That's why. Well, where were you? I don't know. I don't tell you, sicko, you stalker. No, I think you should answer that question. Where were you? Where were you? And why is somebody at an aviation sales company unable to confirm or deny where you were? Whether you were with them at the airport. You're not supposed to be at the airport. You're supposed to be, allegedly, supposed to be with your mom. Andrew Colvette, where were you? Were you on the airplane? You did a pre-record for hour 2, which would have given you time to get to the airport to catch an earlier plane that, for whatever reason, flew from Provo before Charlie got taken down, landed in Santa Barbara immediately before Charlie got taken down, and then took off after, like within minutes of Charlie getting taken down. One wonders who was on that plane. Well, I don't have to tell you. Well, I was on a later plane. Okay. You have any evidence you were on the later plane? Because that plane didn't even go back to Provo. It went to Scottsdale. What's going on here? Why can't they tell us who was on that plane? It was a plane that was ferrying TPUSA people around all day. It ferried people from Scottsdale to Provo in the morning. And then it went from Provo to Santa Barbara back to Scottsdale. So who was on the plane? Was somebody hustling to get to Santa Barbara? Was somebody hustling to get from Santa Barbara to Scottsdale? Tell us. We don't have to tell you. Here, we've got a 2-bit, low-budget blogger no one's ever heard of, whose name doesn't even make sense. House and Habit. We didn't know what that means. Talk to her. She has our itinerary. Why? Why does she have your itinerary? Well, it's weird, sir. Why don't you have your itinerary? Why can't you just show us the email where they confirmed it and you could just open it? You could do it online. I could do that. I could screen record me opening a PDF and an email and show, here you go. Here you go. Any other questions? But no, I mean, everything's cagey. Everything's weird. Everything's suspicious. And when you make everything cagey and weird and suspicious and people ask follow-up questions, you then can't get upset. You then can't get upset. You can't say you guys are evil and demonic because there's nothing putting Tyler Robinson on the roof and you guys are asking why. Therefore, you're evil and demonic. No, you're trying to put someone to death. The screwdriver was in the woods. The DNA and the fingerprints came back and they said, guys, I got bad news. We can't put Tyler Robinson anywhere in that building, much less on the roof. We'll just put the screwdriver up. I mean, that's kind of what it seems like. And if that's what happened, we want to know why. Why is this setup being happened? Why is evidence being moved? And if the evidence wasn't moved, why didn't he mention finding the screwdriver on the radio? Why didn't he mention finding the screwdriver initially? Why did everybody think the screwdriver was in the woods? The screwdriver has become the single most important piece of evidence in this entire trial. More than the gun, more than the bullet, it's the screwdriver. If Tyler Robinson's not on that gun, on that roof, I don't care what happened to Charlie Kirk. You cannot pin it on Tyler Robinson. We got to come up with another explanation. Those are your only options. And if the screwdriver was moved in any way, if there's any footage from any of those other officers milling around up there and they don't see a screwdriver, we got a real problem on our hands. I need to see pictures of the screwdriver on the roof. Now, if the screwdriver's up there, great. What the hell's he doing with the screwdriver? That puts his DNA on the roof. That's some evidence that at least some part of him, some object he touched ended up on the roof. But it's not evidence he was on the roof. We got to know what he was doing with the screwdriver. Is the screwdriver important? Does he have to have the screwdriver? Could the crime have happened without the screwdriver? Is there a reason why he's chucking screwdrivers out as he's going about his day? I have screwdrivers I've had for 25 years that I got as a wedding present. I don't just chuck them out as I'm walking down the street. Certainly, if I just committed a high-profile crime, I'm not throwing them out left and right as I'm going down the road. Why did he? Now, why haven't we seen a picture of the screwdriver? Is it a Phillips head? Is it a flathead? Is it an electronic screwdriver? What is this thing? What brand is it? How long is it? How big is it? Why so much secrecy around a screwdriver? It's the single most important piece of evidence in this case. They don't have his license plate on campus. They have a description of his car. They don't have him on campus. They have a guy wandering around in shorts and a T-shirt. You can't blame us for not being satisfied, for not being whelmed. I'm not whelmed. I remain not whelmed by the amount of evidence you put forward. And I don't even have to get to the wound at this point. I don't even have to get to any conspiracy theories about palm guns and drones and explosions and microphones and electromagnetic field. I don't have to get to any of this to start asking questions. So don't come at me with this con man, you guys are evil, all this stuff, unless you have answers for all these questions. Unless you have answers for all these questions. And then you can say whatever you want. And then I'll evaluate what you have to say. And I'll see whether I agree with it. If I disagree with it, I'll tell you why. But you can't push back and act like we're doing something wrong right now. You just can't. You can't. We're doing what any normal person does when evaluating a legal case. There's been these cases that have popped up over the years that have taken on national priority. Casey Anthony took on a national priority for a little while. Everybody in the country had an opinion on the Casey Anthony case. Some of us still do. Karen Reed came on the scene. People had an opinion. Murdoch came on the scene. People had an opinion. People popped up. They did podcasts. You know, one of the people covering this case, I can't think of her first name. Her last name's Burkhart. Amanda Burkhart, something like that. She does a good job. She has like a repository of all the documents she's able to pull. You know, we've gone on her website and looked. We compared it to what's on Utah Exchange. You know, she made her name covering other cases. This is a thing. The Turtle Boy or whatever. He made his name covering a case. That's not unusual. You can't look at that and say, that means he's evil. No, it means he had a good take. It means she had a good take and people were intrigued by her coverage and they wanted to learn more about a high profile criminal case. It's the same thing that's happening here, guys. And if you were just honest, if you just spoke the truth, if you were just forthcoming, there would not be all this speculation. There wouldn't be all these questions. I told you you'd have to pay me 25. Well, I started at 5, then I went to 15, then I went to 25. Pay me $25 million. I'll come in and fix TPUSA. I'll give it to you for free right now. From this point forward, you guys answer every question as best as you can, to the extent you're allowed to. I mean, obviously, there's some things you're probably not allowed to discuss. Answer every question. Don't get caught in another lie. Andrew got caught fibbing the other day about where the kids were. It's not a necessary lie. It just makes you look bad. No one really cares where they are. They care that you lied. It's all about the cover-up. Don't get caught lying. Be forthcoming. And apologize. Apologize for the times you've been caught lying. You know what, guys? This is the first time we've ever been through this. We weren't sure how to handle it, and we handled it poorly to this point. But I can assure you, we're not going to handle it poorly going forward. We're going to be straight shooters. We're going to borrow a phrase from 2008 John McCain, the straight shooting express or whatever he called it. Straight talk express. And we're just going to straight talk until the day is done. What would you like to know? I'd be happy to tell you. You want to see my itinerary? Here it is. What else? What else can I help you with? See how different that is? You don't have to go on Spaces and be pretentious and condescending. You don't have to send out your little minions to attack and belittle and call people evil and con men and all this. You don't have to do that. You don't do that. It makes you look guilty. That's what guilty people do. That's what guilty people do. And we don't want to think you're guilty. We want to think you're honest, straightforward, forthcoming. So go back to the drawing board. Fire the consultants who've led you down this path. Look in the mirror and say, what would I want to know about the JFK case? What would I want to know about the RFK case or the MLK case? What questions would I ask? Because I think those are all fair questions. Now, what questions would people want to ask us? I think those are also fair questions. And they answer them. Do unto others the way you'd have them do unto you. If there's something you would want to know about the JFK case, we'd all like to solve that. Who did it? What is it about the autopsy? Was it legitimate? I don't think so. The JFK autopsy was not legitimate. The little bullet found on the gurney, nonsense. The state taking custody of the body and shipping it all over the place, foolishness. What really happened in there? Just be honest. Answer the questions. Answer the questions. If you don't, it doesn't go away. And you can't play the victim because this case has real issues like we discussed tonight on just one piece of evidence. There's real issues. It's not just this one piece of evidence. There's every piece of evidence you bring up has these kinds of problems. You can try to say all day long, oh, you guys is open and shut. You guys are crazy. No, we're not. No, we're not. We want to know how the screwdriver moved. We see the motivation for moving it. We want to know if that's what happened. We want to know why the body cam footage died. We see the motivation for the body cam footage dying now that we realize they had to move the screwdriver. Just answer the question. Why have we changed so many positions? Why have we supported politicians Charlie didn't like and opposed politicians he did? I mean, just be forthcoming. Just say, Charlie's not here anymore. The people in charge now don't like those people. It's a different organization. Same name, but there's new leadership. New leadership doesn't like Thomas Massey. I know Charlie did. We don't. Next question. You don't have to lie. Well, if Charlie was here, we think he would be opposed to Thomas Massey. Nonsense. It's foolishness. That's absolute foolishness. Just be honest. We don't like Massey. We don't understand why Charlie liked Massey, but Charlie was running the joint. But now Erica's running the joint. And she doesn't like him. What's hard about that? What's hard about that? You don't have to sue people. You don't have to send letters. You don't have to argue with people. You don't have to be condescending. You don't have to debate. You don't have to go out into X spaces and belittle and condescend. You just be decent. Be a decent person. Decent person. Speaking of a decent person, I was going to go into the story about Erica Kirk calling Candace all kinds of names and how she actually prefers, it sounds like, according to family friends, how she prefers Tyler Robinson over Candace Owens. I have a strong opinion about that. If I get to it tomorrow, I will. If not, I'll come back another time and get to it. But I don't have it in me to do it tonight. I'm so irritated. I'm so irritated by the way this case has been handled. I don't know if Murdaugh or Karen Reed or Casey Anthony had minions going out there attacking everybody every step of the way who were claiming they were, I don't know. Maybe they did. But the attacks just let me know, in my opinion, that I think I'm right. Kind of what it feels like. If you guys like the show, please hit like. YouTube, I don't know if other creators will tell you this, but they've changed their algorithm a little bit. And the new algorithm rewards engagement. So comments on videos and likes on videos are worth like dozens of views. So you can get 10,000 views or you can get 1,000 views and a dozen likes or 100 likes, and you're going to have a better distribution from YouTube than the guy with more views. So by all means, when you come in, if you could hit the like button, that would do us a tremendous favor as we try to get this show to as many people as possible. After the show posts, if you're watching on a replay, feel free to leave a comment as well, even if it's just to say, hey, we would appreciate it. We genuinely would appreciate it. If you have any questions, I don't want to say questions. If you have any tips, email tips. That's realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. That's actual tips. I will save you the time of sending it because these don't get read. I've instructed the people who do the first pass the email into the box, delete everything telling me to watch or read something. So if you say, hey, you should watch this podcast, it's not going to get read. The reason is we don't have time. We don't have time. That's not being rude, but I'm trying to be honest with you and just letting you know up front. Those are just being deleted. So while we love hearing from you, we don't have time to watch 800 podcasts a day. And that's honestly what we're getting is dozens and dozens and dozens, upwards of 100 podcasts a day. People are telling us to watch. There's, like 12 hours in a workday, right? You don't have time to do it. And put a show together and do anything else in life. I will roll through some of your comments. I will tell you right now, we may get a little choosy tonight, depending on how long we go. But there are probably, as I'm looking right now at the number, more comments than we'll be able to read. But I will do my best to get to as many as possible because that's my commitment to you. I do read everyone after the show. So even if I don't pull it up on the screen and react to it, I do see it. So if you give me a tip or compliment, it's not wasted. I will see it. But I may not be able to react to it live on air. Celebrating 1 month as a member. Grateful for the community. Queen Daisy and humble host. Christ is King indeed. Already a month. Man, time flies when you're having fun. Baron, what's the margin of error on the bullet diameter from the frags? All the security team had pistols, 9mm probably. If you need bullet frags, there were roughly 30 cal pulling over and lobbing around into a tree. I don't know that. I'm not a ballistics expert. I don't even want to weigh that because I don't know, honestly. Hi, Baron from UK. Love your show. Christ is King indeed. Thank you from all the way from Auckland. Appreciate that. Maybe is that why I called Auckland, New Zealand? Auckland. Hello from Maine. Thank you for your hard work. You and the team do. Appreciate you all. From Kristen and Haley Grace. Love you, B. Christ is King and Jesus loves you. And you. And you. BB and Chat and Co. I don't know what that means. Gifted 10 membos. Mr. Bruce Lee bringing the heat. Judo chop. That's right. Hitting them with the Judy chops. My B, longtime lurker, first time commenting, but I had to say I'm loving your clips channel. Like when you don't have time for a full episode, but there's something to take the edge off. Christ is king indeed. We encourage you to come back to the full episodes, but thank you. If you've not joined the clips channel or subscribed, rather, there's no joining option over there. At Baron Coleman Clips on YouTube, or you can just search Baron Coleman Clips and it'll pop up. The branding looks the same as this channel, just has the word clips in yellow. You'll know you're on the right channel. Little 8 to 12, sometimes 15-minute doses of your humble host. Sometimes that's all you need. That's not true. 15 minutes with me is never enough. Oh, that came out terrible. I did not mean it to come out that way. We like long form content, but we do offer short content. I pulled an old grieving widow on my husband yesterday. My husband, I think I'm going to get a new beat before summer's end. Me stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop. Oh, a new boat. A new boat. Oh, he doesn't need a new boat. Old boat's fine, sir. Stop. Has anyone thought about checking flock cameras? Yes, everybody's thought about checking flock cameras. We just don't have the ability to do it. Been a minute since I've been able to catch a live, but I haven't missed an episode since I started watching 4 months ago. You're an integral part of my life, B. God bless, and you and your family. Love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're an integral part of my life, Mountain Mama. 440 gems. Unk alert. I don't even know what that means. I know what an unk alert is. I think you're calling me old, maybe. Glad the humble host is back. Number one from Wyoming. Appreciate that. What are the gems? 750 gems. Let them cook. Is this a thing? What is going on here? I don't know what all this means. Baron, is it possible CK was in on plan to fake his exit without knowing there was a real life plan happening behind his back? If you've been watching very long, you know I've speculated about that at length. I probably started speculating about that 4 to 6 months ago. I revisit that from time to time. I try not to get lost in that land. I try to. It's like a pool, right? You spend too long in there, your hands get pruny. Other things happen. You get in the pool, you just get cooled off, you get right back out. But you don't want to be in the pool too long. Stay blessed. I'll do my best. Baron, keep bringing the truth. Thank you. What's going on with all these things? I don't even know what all that stuff means. What a ride so far, Baron and Daisy. On behalf of everyone whom I don't think they will mind me saying, thank you. Thank you for fighting for truth. Thank you, IQ. Thank you for just being you. Well, thank you guys. You guys are very kind. Yesterday was my beautiful wife's birthday. Jesus, Home Alone, and your show are probably her favorite things. Home Alone, the movie? Like I'm right up there with Macaulay Culkin? I'll allow it. Better than Home Alone 2. Could you please give Samantha a birthday shout out and maybe throw in a Home Alone quote if you know one? Oh, you are talking about the movie. Christ is King indeed. I don't know that I know a Home Alone quote. I've been a long time since I've seen that. Still claiming number one fan is St. George, Utah. But happy birthday. I did mean that. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Evening, Your Majesty, King B. Last few shows have been brilliant and the principal's on fire tonight. Just want to say thanks and let you know I got notification. I did not get notifications, even though I'm a member. Oh, you should have. Got it. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna, I don't know what's up with these. Sorry, y'all. My mic just fell on the ground. So anyway, I'm gonna save you from these gems. So
yeah,
I don't know what's happening with them.
I'm just skipping around them right now.
Do you want me to?
I don't know what they are. Yeah, I don't care.
It's those stupid stickers that pop up, but they've never shown in here before.
That's fine. You can pull them down. I mean, I appreciate you guys sending them because they. But I'm not going to pull them up and look at them because I've never seen them before.
I'll help you filter through them.
Yeah, thanks. You blew my mind. Please do a show on Joe McCarthy. Christ is King indeed. Joe McCarthy or Jenny McCarthy? Didn't I do a show on Joe McCarthy? I thought I did. Hold on. I can answer that real quick. I've got all my openings here. Yeah, January 25th, 2026. Show number 52. The year was 1908. November 14, to be precise. On that day, Joseph Raymond McCarthy was born. I've done that show. Go back and watch number 52. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. If I do say so myself. Let's see. Javi, you can't replicate Escobar's Google Trends for H as they wiped all names, data, and images. Next day, Purse 2. Have you seen Leah Files, deep dive into TPUSA? Tyler B, Andrew K, Stacey S, finances, Christ is King indeed. So I did go back and watch a little of Anna's stuff again after somebody challenged me the other day. I actually watched it yesterday. And she does something in a lot of her searches I don't do because it's comparative analysis and I don't find a lot of value in it. When she will run like 5 names on the same Google trend search. And then what it's doing is it's comparing the distance between them, but you don't get an isolation and you're to me. I appreciate what she's doing. I like what she's doing. But because I don't fully understand her approach and her methodology, I've withheld comment. And that's it. That's not me saying I don't like it. That's not me saying it's wrong or I disagree with it. It just means I'm not able to fully comment on it because I don't have a firm understanding of what she's doing. New viewer here would love to hear your thoughts on CK's death happening the same week as Saints Carlo Acutis and Pier Giorgio were canonized, patrons of the internet and young adults. I don't think it has anything to do with it. Interesting parallel. I doubt it played a factor. Welcome in, Blakey's head, Ben's eyebrows, and Andrew's lies. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I will say that's them talking, not me. I would never say such a thing about Ben Shapiro's eyebrows. Is the Caterpillar episode still up? Have you seen the Europa documentary yet? Nope. Do you think there's any truth to it? Don't know. Keep up the good work. Christ is King indeed. Duly noted. Do you think Erica was just going along with it because of her being threatened if she didn't? And OMG, why is she talking about political opponents? So that was my speculation for probably the first solid 3 or 4 months. I had a lot of people commenting in. This is when our shows did not have as many live viewers. There might be 3 or 4 or 5,000. And so I was able to look at a lot more of the comments as they rolled in. And there were tons of people writing in saying, you got to go after this woman. She's crazy. And I kept saying, guys, I don't know. I've never lost a spouse. I don't know what I would be like. I'm very awkward emotionally in public. It's weird. Can't help it. It's just how I am. And I even speculated, I would say, you guys don't know that she's not terrified. That the same thing could happen to her. And maybe she has an idea who it was. And so she's just like avoiding it at all costs. And I speculated time and time again. Perhaps Ben was dining with Andrew on the morning of 9/10. Perhaps. I don't know. Candace said she had a good lead on that. And I talked to her. I should have asked her, but I didn't. Blue Hoodie. Thanks. I wouldn't tell you if she hadn't reported it, but I would have satisfied my own curiosity and I forgot. She called me to ask me to look at the glove. She's like, hey, can I ask you a weird question? Like, yeah. Look at this picture. What is that? I'm like, like a glove. That's what I thought. I don't know. Her show was dynamite. Blue Hoodie. No. This is clearly yellow. Get your eyes checked. Yellow. Daffodil yellow, but befuddled by daffodil yellow. Thanks, Brad, for your hard work. Candace put me on a great show today. Oh, Candace put on a great show today. Agreed. Seeing Classic Charlie made me tear up. You and Candace will find the truth because you have truth on your side. Christ is king. Yeah, the whole point Charlie was making is that the threats are really hollow and all they are is attacking speech. Why don't you guys just answer the question? I'll be straight up. I don't think Erica killed Charlie. I don't even think she was there. How could she? I don't think Andrew did. He wasn't there. How could he? So leave that aside. And now, where were you? Who were you with? What were you doing? That's not hard. Good evening, Veep. EK showing her true colors last night. Crazy. I loved the principal's reaction. Thank you for the truth. Go Max. Christ is king. Indeed, you're number one Humboldt County fan. And sober, I think. Not on all the weed they are up there. Any laws in Utah changed prior to court case that affected the case specifically? I don't know. If so, who pushed it? How long ago? Utah seems sus. That's a good question. I've heard hearing is last sense to go. Imagine clinging to life in the back of the car, and the last thing you hear is someone who hated you. Oh, man. Christ is king indeed. Are you suggesting they may have subjected Charlie to Ben Shapiro's whiny, nasally voice on his way out? Can you imagine? You're struggling, you're suffering, and you hear this? I don't know, guys. Actually, I think Caterpillar Boy told us that it was his team who communicated. I don't think he said it was him directly. I don't know. I don't remember. Hey, Baron, Rob from Asheboro, not Asheville, North Carolina. Stating the obvious here, but if a gun was used, then no one would be standing that close to CK, at least those that knew it was about to happen. I raised that issue very early on when Terrell walked over and whispered something in his ear, and when Dan kept moving forward and talking to him. I used it to kind of exonerate them and say, hey, if they thought he was about to get shot, they wouldn't be standing there. I don't care how much I trust somebody. I'm not downrange of them. You don't know if they sneeze, or get a weird twitch at the last second. All of a sudden, they're 8 degrees off, and you catch one with your dentures. Frank Turk was seen climbing out of trunk of SUV at hospital, yet he doubled down on doing CPR. There's a row of seats between where Charlie was and Frank Turk. He's over 6'3". No way he climbed over the seats while en route. I don't know that I entirely agree with that. I think he was saying he was leaning over the seat, and it's just a seat back between them. And we did see a footprint of his. If TR came out and made a statement about everything he knows, name names, etc., would he be safe? No. Ow. Bit my lip. No, he wouldn't be safe at all. No. High-intensity microwave weapons stop CK Hart. I'm thinking, honestly, I haven't done a show on it. I might. I've got a thought. It's weird, though. Hey, B, I sure wish those times showed up on LT phone to see if it lined up with the Ring door cam with the bald man sitting there. TR set up. Love your work. Go Max. God bless. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have timestamps. I heard Candace give our humble host a nod at the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Number one fan, Davey, Florida. Christ is king indeed. I heard that. Sweet B, your hair looks amazing tonight. Oh my goodness, now I'm self-conscious. I can't see in that little bitty screen. How's it look? Does it look okay? I'll allow it, interior designer Utah. It's probably terrible by now. When you sent that, it was probably amazing. Baron, having a conversation with someone about the case who buys the Fetzlop. How to explain how so many people could be involved and keep the secret. How many people would have to have whole story? Indeed. How many people you think were in on JFK? RFK? Martin Luther King? How many people you think were in on 9/11? The development of the atomic bomb? I mean, I did an open one day on that silly underground complex they have in West Virginia. Like 20,000 people were in on that, and none of them said a word about it. That's nonsense. That's not a good argument. That's a foolish argument. What if the white car that stopped where the guy jumped off the building was supposed to pick up the jumper and leave, but the jumper ran away, knowing he wouldn't live if he got in? Oh, maybe. Being blocked from Super Chat. Sorry to hear that. Well, you obviously aren't. You're right there. Oh, we're back to the gyms. Say hi to Blake and Andrew. We know they never miss your show. I hope they saw Candace clock Erica tonight. Love your show, B. Keep going, Max. Oh, I guarantee you Blake saw it. I guarantee you. Blake is a standist. He stands for Candace. Good night, Baron. From your number one fan in Brisbane, Australia. Much order arrived yesterday. I'm so impressed. They look amazing. My husband and I watch your show daily. Love being a part of this high IQ community. Thank you. I hope you love the merch. Love the yellow hoodie, GBC. Looks good on you. Makes the gray look blonde. Bless you and yours. I can't tell if Ivan likes me or hates me. It's one or the other. Can't tell. He's not neutral. I know that. Dallas, not first try at JFK. Attempts we know of. Nashville. May of 1963. LA, June of 1963. Chicago, November 2, 1963. Tampa, November 18, 1963. Also, multiple Lee Harvey Oswalds. Similarities. I mean, maybe. I didn't know about all those. Look that up. Baron, are you accepting intern applications? Also, I come back to Nashville this year. Can I try to set up a chat with you and Michael Knowles? He needs the truth. Thanks for all you do. Christ is King. No, I'm not looking for interns. And, I would talk to Michael Knowles, but I don't find him particularly appealing on this issue. So I don't know how much fun that would be. There are a lot of people I'd like to talk to, but not him. I would, though. Thank you for the gift of membership. I'm a dedicated viewer. I might as well be a member. Imagine I will carry on the membership. And thank you, Baron, for keeping it 100. I hope you enjoy the member shows. That you get access, I think, to all the old member shows. I hope you enjoy them. Candace went on a Baron-style crash out today. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Schrodinger's screwdriver. Yeah, precisely. My 15-month-old and I listened to you on our way to all our doctor's appointments. Today, she was upset by having blood work. I turned your podcast on. She heard your voice. She audibly sighed and settled right down. Babies do love your voice. I have that effect on a lot of people. Candace never accused anyone regarding CK. Candace and you getting close? Maybe. I do think when they collectively freak out, we're on to something. And the collective freak out this week and last week is directly a result of that absolutely disastrous preliminary hearing. The louder they tell you it was perfect and everything was great and then crash out on everybody around them tells you the truth. They were disappointed as well. They had greater faith in the prosecution to come up with a case, and they realized it didn't happen. Do we have an interactive timeline of each person from, say, 4/1/25 to 11/1/25 in the event marking their location? Seeing names grouped together in location could help see what happened. I don't even begin to know how you would create such a thing. How would I know where they were? I mean, I'm not knocking you, but you're welcome to try to build one. You've got as much access to information on that stuff as we do. Baron, I sincerely appreciate all the research and digging you do to find the truth for Charlie. My B, you're best. You're the best, and we love you. My B. Thank you for always going max. Christ is King indeed. I try, Ashley. Grandpa B. I'll allow it. Missed hearing the last 4 amazing live shows. First ones I've missed live. Officially now grandma of 11. Oh, you changed your name. That's awesome. My daughter had emergency C-section. Nurses at American Fork Hospital love you. As we do. Christ is King indeed. Love you. Hey, thank you. Say hey to the nurses for me. They must not have ever had me as a patient. They don't love me when I leave. I'm kidding. I'm fine. Is it possible there's another video they watched that was 4K or the same blurry one, the only option? Maybe shown outside courtroom. No, it's impossible. They already described it. They told us what it was. We know what they saw. It's the same. Alley Top Files, that episode with, it says he went on 9/10 because it was high stakes and our biggest thing ever. Thoughts? I don't know. I don't have any. I have no idea why he was there. I take him at his word. Hi, Baron. I was the one that found the men at the hospital video that no one has given me credit for. What videos are you talking about? Also my super chat wasn't read on previous video. MM looked to have 2 phones in that vid. Love from Scotland. Lots of people have 2 phones. Okay, if you were the one that found it, but when I see the same video in like 300 places on Twitter, how am I supposed to know who found it first? I can't possibly find that. And followers since Google Trends, they think we're stupid. Screwdriver Gate. We're winning the propaganda war. Go Max for Charlie. Thank you for all you do. Christ is King indeed. Screwdriver Gate. I guess that's better than it could be. That's a better name than you could have chosen. Every time Blakey Neff lies, God punishes him by taking another inch off his hairline. And that, my friends, is why he's bald. I don't know if he's on Ozempic either, but he looks skeletal today on air. Holy Toledo. That guy looked bad. Andrew looks like he's seen a ghost. Blake looked like he's on a hunger strike. I was like looking for Cesar Chavez in the corner. Baron, I'm a senior in high school. I missed the show 2 months. You were so inspiring. Never stop fighting for Charlie Kirk. I love being high IQ. You sound high IQ, Lauren. Highest IQ in the school. Guarantee it. This recruit would like to understand Utopia. Don't even know what you're talking about. I'm talking about the Sir Thomas More book? Good book. JD Vance indicated in several interviews released yesterday that Charlie is indeed buried. Not long after we buried my friend Charlie Kirk, who became pregnant with our 4th child, Vance wrote. Buried could be a euphemism, meaning had the funeral, closed the casket, went on with our lives. I can't reconcile EK leaving her kids so often. When my husband passed of leukemia, I had between 1 and 4 of my kids in my bed every night for at least 6 months. My 12-year-old every night for 4 months. They need a loving parent now more than ever. Well, she got to put her pumps on, go to work. My B, shout out to TK419. So hey, Moon Goddess, can you stop writing in all caps? It's miserable to read for me. Just write in normal letters. So much easier. So happy he's okay after crashing car. Stepping up for Ivan. Gary, you still a dummy? Yes. Yes. Yes, you stepping up for Ivan. That's all I meant, Gary. Love and no PT past 5 days back at it Wednesday, and I challenge you to a game of online cribbage. You might be. Girl, you're going to get 15 to death. You ain't know a 15 till you've seen me play cribbage. You didn't know you could put cards together to make 15 the way. How does he have 15 7 times every hand? You're going to know. You're going to know. Make Orwell fiction again. Have this on a Benny. I mean, I know the Orwell thing. I don't know what a Benny is. You are onto something with the white car theory. Every news clip of the rooftop scene has made sure that the white car wasn't shown in the footage. Mm-hmm. You're right. We are. I think. Join to avoid message not sent. Edit. Try again. Okay. Why won't Tyler or his lawyers say he didn't turn himself in or deny shooting Charlie? Silence fuels confusion. Is his representation corrupt? So you're not understanding how the Fifth Amendment works, and I'm not making fun of you by saying that. I think a lot of people don't understand how it works. You have a right to remain silent. What you don't have a right to do is make comments and then invoke your right to remain silent, and then make comments and invoke your right to remain silent. Once you start speaking, you're speaking. So that's, again, I'm not knocking you for not understanding that. You might not even be American, I don't know. But here in the United States, the Fifth Amendment says you do not have to make self-incriminating statements. We've interpreted that to mean you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And so if he starts discussing the case, they're going to make an argument to the judge that he's waiving his right to remain silent. And that's going to be problematic. I don't blame him at this stage, and having not even gotten a preliminary hearing answer. I mean, the preliminary hearing is not closed. It's still open, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know that. It's not closed. The prosecution could file it. I mean, the defense could file stuff. It's not over. If there's something that they just think turns the case on its head, now's the time. But him saying he didn't do it is not going to be the thing that turns the case on its head. So he gains nothing by saying that. And he loses everything. So I'm sorry if that's confusing. An effective response to a ridiculous request or bullying is a technique. Embrace and amplify. Roger that. Roger that. But Baron, I got my Go Max last week. I wear it almost every evening after work watching the show. Number one fan from Amarillo, Texas. Christ is king indeed. Just make sure you wash it occasionally. We don't want that thing standing up on its own. I kid. It smells like roses. Were the chickens and or roosters investigated? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I have no idea what we're talking about here. TR's accomplices, possibly? Oh, you're talking about the chicken coop? Oh, I doubt it. I doubt it. Honesty, hope, faith, integrity. If you know, you know. Christ is King. Blessings from the 407. Where's that? Ah, Florida. Florida man checks in. Florida woman checks in. Florida man checks in. Thank you. Thank you. So much donkey-like behavior from TPUSA. Hey, can you teach a class in integrity, logic, and critical thinking? I think they go along with other influencers, could benefit from your example. Thank you. I don't know. I'm not going to teach an online class. They got a book. I recommend a book. They can buy the book. Tyler's attorney and others were Googled before 9/10. Could prosecutors show the letter so the defense would hide the video while Erica's influencers hyped it? Is the defense part of the cover-up too? I mean, it's the question of the day. A lot of people have that question based on some of the things that took place in court. I had a dream. Oh. I thought you were giving me a quote from a famous speech in 1968. I had a dream where I saw Erica Kirk in prison and Pierce Morgan went to interview her. I think it was a dream. There could have been real. No, it was not real. She's very much not in prison. Words matter. Holt testified. TR told family he was involved. Not that he did it. I think this is what they're calling his confession, involved. And did not the same. TR was likely involved. Yeah. Position from the beginning. Thanks, Baron. I'm adding Anthem by Ayn Rand to my collection. Sounds like a great read. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Notices bulge. What's this? Oh, Blake, Mikey, Danny's pockets. Yeah, speaking of bulges. Not that kind of bulge. They had something shoved in their pockets, I think. Is that a racquetball in your pocket? Good eye from Outback, Australia. I believe the officer accent at the preliminary trials was New Zealand, who lived in Oz and wrote the unusual text to spelling and sounds completely normal for this Aussie. Keep fighting for truth. I don't even know what accent that was, guys. I'm going to stop trying it. Christ is King indeed. Take that. Take that. Anthem sounds like Trump's MAGA. Oh, gosh. Yeah, unfortunately. It sounds like we're all headed with flock cameras and data centers. Superb opening statement. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Do you think they're going to try and shut down the decentralized investigation? I've been praying so hard. Christ is King indeed. How would they shut it down? I don't know. I mean, that's I'm going to turn X off. Watched a video the other day of the day Charlie was taken. It was on a podcast Blackline. He showed a side profile of Charlie's shirt going up and nothing going into the neck and coming out. Watched it 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah, that's been going around since the beginning. Enjoyed your opening statement. This is a game, a hybrid than the typical norm. Okay, thank you. The opening is great. So true. Ian's video got a warning before I shared. We are under attack. There are more slaves than there are masters. His video that he had put up yesterday, I watched that this morning. I got a warning. For what? All he did was like play clips from the vice president. Put on lotion, sleeping gloves, peak Baron tonight. Yeah. Toughen up. Watch the show on the big screen tonight. Mere seconds after you describe the book's setting as having no electricity, boom! Our electricity goes out. A+ on special effects. I have that effect on people, Penny. I'll turn your lights out. Charlie Kirk, falling in shower would accomplish same goal. Much risk to do it so publicly. Certainly warning message, as was 33 hours. Who are these messages for? And what about that Jesse on fire cipher of USA David? That was huge. I don't think it would accomplish the same. There was something about the graphic nature of it in front of so many people that really had people scared in a way that, say, when Andrew Breitbart died walking home from a bar, he didn't have the same effect. And I think most insiders believe he was probably taken out as well. Baron, in this amazing community, can you please pray for my nephew and his wife? They lost their precious baby girl at 37 weeks pregnant. Oh, gosh. My brother lost his new granddaughter and is devastated. I can imagine. I can begin to know where to start with that. I'm sorry to hear that. I can't imagine. I fully believe you and Candace about everything, but always wondered how is it possible this many people are involved without one person saying anything. Cops, government, TPUSA, influencers. I mean, compartmentalization is a thing. You know, I never realized Anthem is the literary version of Rand's Virtue of Selfishness, one of my top 10 books. Great opening statement. Yeah. So about the virtue of selfishness, did you notice Alan Greenspan wrote a piece in there? Yeah. That was back before he turned into a globalist. Right. You got disco stuff. You have the air about you of rebel with a cause. No other kings but Christ. James Dean, you say? Wasn't he rebel without a cause, though? Baron, what did Mrs. C say to you when you came out of the closet in public Sunday night? I'm out of the closet in public. I don't remember what you're talking about. Just kidding. Oh, apparently it was a joke. Christ is king indeed. I don't remember what I said Sunday night. She didn't say anything because I don't even remember. Wow, the zero ghost. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Not to be morbid, but the official narrative is dead. Here's $1 for every bombshell missing from their mountain of evidence. Zero Ghost, your home for privacy phones. Thank you, Zero Ghost. That's very kind of you. I genuinely appreciate that. Genuinely appreciate that. Hey, Brand, just saying, hey, in Orlando now on holiday from Ireland. You were right about the heat, but we weren't expecting the daily thunderstorm. Go Max. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. It rains every day, but only for a little while. It just sucks the humidity out, and then it goes on. Yeah. We lived down there, and we lived in Delray, and right when I would get home every day would be like the 20-minute daily thunderstorm, and I'd just sit in my car and wait. I wasn't going to walk through it. I knew it wasn't going to last long. But you look at the radar, and it's just green just thunderstorms all over the place, rain everywhere, and then like 20 minutes later, it's all gone. Sun's back out. Now it's steaming. Salam, Baron. Been trying to send a super chat, but I did it so many times. Been on YouTube approximately 8 months ago. Turkey Tom. Compare Lance Twiggs' handwriting, letter and evidence. I think several people have already done that on X. I was not very convinced by it, that comparison. I was not very convinced. My alarm, donkey, and cows went off last night. Central Georgia has mountain lions now. You rock, kiddo. Keep PTing. I'm going to walk it off. TK loves you all. They've had mountain lions, haven't they? Big cats. I know Alabama's always denied it because then the feds have to get involved. So they always say we don't have them, but they do. Yanked and banked to get the grand jury on time. Oh, drive safely. Wear your safety harness. Serious about the internship? Let me know. Yeah, I'm not going to hire an intern. I appreciate it though. I genuinely do, but I'm not going to do that. Where did the bullet fragments inside Charlie come from? It obviously wasn't a 30-06, but surely there wasn't bullet fragments inside the mic. No, I mean, they could have come from anywhere. I mean, any one of those people could have been compromised along the way and be like, oh, I found these. I don't know. Oh, please. Cheeseburgers with the infamous Wickles pickles for dinner. Wow, I bet those were good. I had Wickles yesterday. Thank you, Baron, for the suggestion. God bless you, Mrs. Coleman, the rest of the Coleman family, and Daisy. Christ is king indeed. Mrs. Coleman was upset with me last night. I'm doing a little peacocking. We'd had a long day, a lot of family event yesterday, so we decided to play a little backgammon. I took an early 1-0 lead. We were playing a 7. I took a 1-0 lead. All was gravy. I was in a good mood. She ripped off the most ridiculous run of rolls you've ever seen in your life and goes up 6-1, playing to 7. Mortal stranglehold. I won 7-6. I too went on a ridiculous run of rolls. Like neither 6-point run should have ever happened. But they did. And I was in a good mood after the outcome. And Mrs. C was not amused with my good mood. Not much. It was fun. Member again, only left for personal audit of where I'm spending. You do great work, Baron. Thanks for the hard work and time spent into speaking for all of us who want to know who, how, and why. I highly recommend doing a personal inventory, count for every dollar. Someone knows about falsifying information. It's Andrew McCabe. Piece of doo-doo. I agree with that. My B. Love the way you think. Love the way you think. Big fan. Big fan indeed. Baron shows off his purse on Sunday, and all I could hear was, it's called a satchel. Indiana Jones wears one. You're the best. I thank God for you and Candace. Christ is king indeed. My purse. He took my purse. I've said it before. Where's the video of him getting to the rooftop and setting up? Why only videos of the dot after? It's a good question. Good question indeed. You rock, B. Keep doing what you're doing. Family loves listening to you, Christ the King indeed. I love listening to you, Chastity Phillips. Spent many times in Facebook gulag for speaking out against COVID and Jabli. X permanently suspended my account for spamming. No clout influence, very little following, but they chose me to silence. Why? Well, you must have been over the top. I see you have tics today. I recognize that for my son. I have tics every day. Have you not? You just now picking up on that? I mean, every day. This is a thing. Everything will be all right, Baron. Thank you for your research and your faith. Lots of prayers and love for all who are searching for truth. Yeah, you go back and look at video of me in 7th grade. You see the same thing. My father always said that us ranch-raised kids had better immunity because of our constant exposure to dirt, livestock, unpasteurized milk. I never got the big C. Well, it wasn't the big C is cancer. Well, take that. But you never got the little C. Gary Meltdown came after me in the comments, and he was nasty. Going way too far. It's getting really crazy. Crazy, really. Love you, B. Jesus loves you, too. It is getting... I don't understand the attacks. Like, if you have a problem with something I've said, say, like, there's been another guy on there who's really going after individual things I say. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Like, hey, have you considered X, Y, and Z? I really don't see it that way. Well, I have, and here's why. And they're not going to have a conversation. But the name calling, that's so childish. Yo, my B. A few episodes ago, someone mentioned Kobe Holland, professional sports shooter from Fort Benning, Georgia. You had a crazy reaction, sparked a real rabbit hole eek. Any updates? So curious. Bless you, sir. Onward. Yeah, no updates. We did do a brief dive into that. No updates. Twilight Zone episode called The Obsolete Man is another good example of the totalitarian state. Duly noted. Why is Tyler not freaking out in the Lance text? Like, crud, I can't find my screwdriver. I hope I didn't forget it on the roof. They hadn't planted it yet? Yeah, maybe. It's a good question. Why is Lance not freaking out in the comments? Like, what? Are you kidding me? You killed someone? He's like, you didn't do it, did you? Well, yeah, I did. Okay, well, drive safely. Body cam battery dying is like hearing the dog ate my homework. Unbelievable. Go Max. King indeed. Indeed. I think Charlie's happiest days were when he was touring with Candace, not when he was with Erica. Christ is king indeed. I have no way to gauge that. Can events get unedited body cam footage of roof cop? Sounds like they did, or they got what they're going to get. My grandma request to get the cop's body cam device audit trail was just denied today. Reasons: records of security measures, disclosure would jeopardize security of public systems, and ongoing case. I would appeal that. And I would say I'm just looking for the 45 seconds until it dies. Like, maybe narrow your request. Real Bays. I watch Real Bays. Officer Bagley also said he was positioned near the Hall of Flags. If that's true, then I believe that also would have given him a direct line of sight to the Losi Center roof when Charlie was allegedly shot. I agree. I've made that point many times, Bays. I think he's probably the only one, really, who had that direct line of sight. If you accept their evidence, you're seeing reality. Question their evidence or interpretation, you're brainwashed or evil. Challenge is used as evidence that the challenger is the problem. Yeah, I get you. I agree. Serious question. Okay, you got my serious attention. Unlike those other joking questions we've been entertaining so far. Those guys weren't serious. You're serious. This is the part I still don't get. How can all these cops, witnesses, prosecutors, feds, etc., be on the same story? Not one. Is this a new talking point? Why is everybody saying this? Roof blocked off, but crime scene paved over. Yes, that's true. Hey, Baron, what healing factor does hate bring? Also, do you think Candace is the ugliest person on earth inside and out, and that you hate that? No, I don't. Are you asking in a joking manner because that's what Erica said? Allegedly. If their video is so clear, wouldn't they have seen him take the rifle out of his pants to get over the rail, change clothes, pull the screwdriver, and towel out of his backpack? Allegedly. I mean, that should all be there, right? Should all be there. How are there absolutely no pictures of a naked man with a screwdriver and a gun? When did he have time to take the shot between changing clothes and using a non-compatible tool for reassembly and disassembly of the firearm? And so I don't think disassembly is an issue. I think their current narrative is reassembly only. But I don't know if that's true. But the changing clothes on the roof is a thing. They've never, I don't know, distanced themselves from that. And that's a problem. It has become very clear this was a vast conspiracy involving hundreds of people. I know TR was never supposed to survive 9/11, but if numerous agencies were behind this, why bring in so many people? Makes it obvious. I know. Why is everybody making the point? I mean, okay, hey, I've done opens on this and everything else. Lots of people can keep secrets. It happens all the time. Secret military operations, secret spy operations, lots of, building projects, nuclear weapons development. Lots of times, hundreds or even thousands of people are able to keep a secret. This would not be the first time. So I'm not going to address that again. Yeah, I'm not being rude, but I mean, it's weird that 8 people have the same question tonight. I had to rewrite my comment about 10 times for YouTube to let me post it because I'd quoted and the widow's initials on. Okay. Duly noted. Sure hope that Tyler's defense team has your passion and at least half your intelligence. Your research pretty much makes the case for Tyler. I think there's things of value that we cover, sure. Try to stop Moon Goddess from putting sugar on her grits to be here. You are perfectly imperfect. Thanks for all you do, Baron. Grits ruling, no sugar. No sugar. Salt and butter. Little hot sauce sometimes. First super chat, thanks for all you do. The fact TPUSA has never posted expressing anger about the lack of good quality video makes them look so suspicious. I don't know about that. I mean, you get the video you get. You would think a country run by the best, greatest ally bull butter would come up with a better psyop. Man, maybe. Did you see Missy Woods? Company Bureau, forensic scientist guilty for faking, destroying. No, I didn't see that. Not a good look for FedSlap going to trial. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. You think AK would have instructed everyone to shut the hell up as their PR guy? The more they say, the more they contradict each other and themselves. Yes. Yeah, stop talking. Stop talking. It's the reason criminal defendants don't talk. They don't want to lay down a story they got to stick to. Do they also find his PJ and toothbrush on the roof? I don't think so. Hi, Granddad. I don't think the government realized how tech savvy you guys are. The truth will come out. If y'all had been here in 1963, we'd know the truth about JFK. Maybe y'all can work backwards. Christ is king. Indeed. A lot of that evidence is stale or gone. Not one person at Timpanogos, patients, visitors, hundreds of employees in a full-service 122-bed hospital said they personally saw TK being brought in at 12:30 p.m. Is that why the FBI took all the camera footage from the hospital? We've raised that question. We don't know. As a paralegal, I appreciate your analytics and reasoning. It's so important to connect dots with evidence. Thank you. It's very kind of you. Love it when Daisy pops in. I had an Italian greyhound, like the photo, named Da Vinci, who lived to be 17 years old. No, he didn't die from a palm gunshot either. Well, good. That would be weird. Any chance at all that old Einstein recording could actually be? No, not whatsoever. If not Robson, different voice. It's same as his roommate. Yeah, it's not connected. The timing's wrong. We know who it is. I'm 52 minutes behind in camping, so I don't know if I'll be able to watch the whole show, but I just wanted to celebrate 4 months on the grand jury with y'all. Love you, my B, my fellow high IQ fam. Christ is king indeed. 4 months. Thank you. Very kind. To be fair, Benny Johnson is the foremost. John Cullen is wondering why you've never reached out to speak with him. Have you reached out to him? No, I haven't reached out to a lot of people. I mean, there's literally billions of people I've never reached out to. Literally billions. Whole countries full of people I've never reached out. Well, I lost my Facebook account before and 5 loved ones after the jab. No jab for me. Great opening statement, B. Thank you so much for your work. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. My B, I don't know if you noticed at the end of the principal's show, she said, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I noticed. You act like I don't notice things. I'm a noticer. How much does she? Oh, yeah. None. She can borrow it. She gets a free pass. Coach, Zach, you guys don't have the same thing. Jake, just kidding. The Pixel comments and 40H key got me geeking. Christ is king indeed. My first super chat ever. Wow, Mandy. Been listening since Google Trends show. My routine is Candace, you, and then Stu Peters. All are connecting the pieces of the puzzle. Who killed Charlie Kirk, how and why? Thank you for going, Max. Thank you. Good choice of lineup there. Sorry if this is low IQ. Why did TR park on campus but then change clothes and limp through the neighborhood to UVU in the TMZ vid? Was that explained? No, I asked that very question today. As an Aussie, I've listened to Hull's accent, and I feel he sounds like a British accent with an overlay of Aussie accent. He's likely lived in Australia and New Zealand for many years. I don't know why we don't know where you grew up. Now, who are you? Why can no one find any information on you at all, ever? Want TR to share a story? What happened during the trial? I want to hear I didn't send those texts. I wasn't on the roof. I was doing XYZ, and here's the proof and provide undeniable proof. Well, it's a tall ask. That's all. Maybe we'll see that. I don't know. And first clip with Kash at the end where you stopped, CK's sign hanging on that event. You're being brainwashed. Why they choose that one? Have to tell us the truth as Kash casts his lying spells. Maybe. Perfect opening. Thank you, Jamie. I thought so too. I didn't want to brag. I didn't want to boast. But I'll let you say it. I was discussing the case with people at the dog park. One lady got upset and told her husband he wasn't allowed to be curious about the case. I'm sending this to her husband. Christ is king indeed. I feel bad for that man. Who tells their spouse they can't think a certain thing? That's weird. Can you imagine Mrs. C? I'm like, you're not allowed to think that way. That would not go over well. 2, can reporters visit or call Tyler now for interviews, comments? If yes, would you? I don't know the answer to that, but if he went on the record, I would think he is the stupidest criminal defendant of all time. Period. End of story. Let's see what you're doing, BC. You're on lawyer mode. Oh. Wouldn't the body cam footage from the screwdriver finder's camera before it went dark show who the plainclothes man with badge and gun was? Surely he looked at him before he went to rooftop. I think Ms. Nestor referenced that. I don't know. Koala Walla Walla. Yeah. I don't know her name. I don't know. It's long. It's got too many vowels. I know that. Praying for Erica to find discernment and join the cause. Doors always open for her. Pray for her safety to set up Candace as they grow. Pray for her safety? Oh, fear for her safety to set up Candace as they grow desperate. I don't understand that. Case already been solved. We don't know, but we know. I hope everyone's safe, if that's what you're saying. I agree. I'm a biology major. I've done 1,000 labs. Those are definitely gloves in the door. Not sure why they'd be needed, but definitely that's gloves. I agree. Thanks to Real ID, every person with a driver's license has been fingerprinted. And they'd be able to know who Spider-Man was. Also, I saw no outfit change on roof. I've got a Real ID. I didn't get fingerprinted, did I? Maybe I did. I don't remember. You heard it here first. It doesn't take a rocket surgeon. To be honest, I think it might. You're the best B. Christ is king indeed. No, it doesn't take a rocket. When does Bagel Boy claim to have found the screwdriver? Bagel Boy. Oh, a Bagley? He even looks like he enjoys a bagel. You know, bagel's like 6 slices of white bread. That would make sense. Does he claim he found it days later to support changing its location in the narrative? No, I think he claims he found it that very day. He just didn't talk about it at all. If judge says it's enough evidence for trial, will it set dangerous precedent or affect his own career? No, I think if he said it was not enough evidence, it would affect his career. Because everyone expects him to say it is. Jumper looks like he had on all black. Wasn't TR supposed to have blue jeans, not black jeans, on when he jumped? Thanks for all you do, Baron. Christ is king. I can't tell what color jeans those are, so I don't know that it affects my analysis. That Baron, we created the high IQties for Anna's group. That's cute. Every time you say backpack, my brain says quick quack. Yeah, close. My B. Oh gosh, we're back to all caps. TK419's obviously got some head trauma going on from Crash, thinking you won't rule my favor on grits. Forgets I'm one of your faves. If you put sugar on the grits, I got bad news. You gotta stop that. I'm your number one fan from Lake Placid, town that the Miracle on Ice happened, 1980, same year I was born. Thank you for everything you do. Christ is king indeed. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. I can't do Al Michaels. Proud 6-month member of this high Q outfit from Ormond Beach, Flirty. Epstein referred billionaires to JP Morgan. Why would billionaires need a referral to a bank? Half the TPUSA main characters work for JP Morgan. Coincidence? I think not. Are we thinking the right bank? I don't know that that's the right bank. But I'm not going to weigh in because I don't know for sure. Gary and Gray did video at UVU, found marks at Jump Spot, and got told to leave. As behind the windows where offices nobody saw from inside. Were they one of the ones with the tall poles? I remember there were several people out there. Police scanner 26, 45, no mention of roof screwdriver. Yeah. When I'm driving every gray Dodge Challenger, I now holler, it's Tyler. I noticed that the other day. I saw one on the interstate. I thought, man, I didn't notice those before. I do now. Enjoying a rare steak at Texas Roadhouse while watching Bubba Barron live with earbuds. Honestly, this activity is a real man magnet. Good. Good news for you single ladies and widows like me out there. Dee Dee, hope you bag a good one. In a holy way, of course. My B, your fight for the truth is important because the ramification of the lies prevailing is catastrophic. Following you has felt like witnessing the people who still have a voice relentlessly fight the powers trying to take it. Yeah, we'll see. And I found myself chuckling more than once tonight. Always entertaining. Oh, just a delightful chuckle. But Baron, this won't be traceable to any nation's military. It was deep cover mercenary operation, plausible deniability for whoever ordered this. Maybe. You're steadily destroying this case bit by bit, so I'll flip it. If you had to take this case to trial, could you, and based on what evidence? Thank you, Christ is King indeed. We don't know all the evidence. I mean, you have to look at what they have given over in discovery. We don't know what all they've turned over. So I don't know. I can't possibly answer that. All I can talk about what's been disclosed publicly, which is lousy. So B, where was Erica last weekend? Also, did you notice the shadow in the parking garage in shape of our greatest ally? I did notice that it looked like that, the shadow did. I'm not going to tell you yet. Giving him a chance to come clean. Baron on 7-9, PC posted a video showing possibly 2 people on the roof. In your video on 7-12, Hull says they hid behind the atrium. I think he's using they in the gender neutral sense of the word for a singular pronoun. I don't believe that video that Project Constitution posted showed 2 people on the roof. I believe it showed a person on the roof and a car driving on the interstate behind it. That's what I see. Open to being wrong. Off Hall, head screwdriver hidden in his hair. Okay. Most condemning evidence, officer's intuition. Yeah, it doesn't look good, I'll be honest with you. You have a YouTube channel like Roy Tuckman of something, FM Pacifica Network from back in the days. It would be on for about 4 to 6 hours. Okay, thank you. I don't know why you're being so hard on these guys. If we're being honest, all G words look the same. I don't know what that means. Do we have a picture of the special screwdriver? No, I asked that question many times tonight. You may have commented before I asked it, but we have no picture. Do you believe it should be a hollow ground flathead screwdriver, according to my dad? Duly noted. Bays pointed out that Hull looks like MC Search from the early 90s. Uncanny. I don't know who MC Search is, but I'm willing to allow it. People who ate the parasitic lettuce have more solid outputs than the mountain of evidence against TR. It's giving Office Space. Have you seen my stapler? Have you seen my stapler? I live where Clarence Darrow and Williams Jennings Bryan tried the Scopes case. You're right. All the lawyers 8 in the case would have said we lost our ever-loving some East Tennessee for you, sir. Okay, duly noted. Duly noted. IMO today was your highlight, mate. You and D are fire. Baron, I watched episode 3 of yours today. Wow. If you've already covered this, I apologize. Did you find the identity of the camera guy who flipped his lanyard badge, white to black? Christ is King indeed. We did. His name's Charles McClintock Wilson. I've talked to him many times. Turned out to be a delightful individual. But I'll admit that looked suspicious as hell when I saw it. I don't know why I'm coughing so much tonight. Actually, I do. Something got sprayed in our house today that bothered me. Is Tyler wearing another white tee under his maroon tee in the police interrogation room? You can see it sticking up at the collar from behind. I noticed that. I couldn't tell if that was a t-shirt or if that was like an artifact of light, from the... I couldn't tell. Kif did 10 membos. That's 10 people who will have access now to all our high-quality content. If mic battery ruptured and started to burn, carrying Charlie to using t-shirt to contain it, then using shirt as an oven mitt could explain the molten shirt. Good. Can someone measure the height between the roof edge and the ledge the perp rested his foot on before jumping? Does Robinson's height allow him to make that reach? Oh, it doesn't look very tall. I mean, someone I'm sure can, but it doesn't look that tall to me. Officer Bagley should buy his batteries from the same place Frank Turek gets his phone batteries. Keep going, Max Barron, and God bless you and keep safe. I didn't even think about that. Frank Turek has hours worth of battery footage. He's changed his story. Frank, Candace did the Frank versus Frank thing, like spy versus spy, but it's actually worse. It's Frank versus Frank. That's another time when Frank disputes Frank. Frank hates Frank. I've never seen somebody discount someone as much as Frank discounts Frank. Frank says something and Frank always has to dispute it. It's Frankie. If FBI in on it, why we got him. 3X if bullet planted, why wrong caliber. I mean, you take the patsy you get, right? Guy shows up at 30-6. What are you going to do? Be like, looks like a penguin on the roof. Baron stream at 1080 premium. You're at 720. Hey, God bless you. I'm at 720 on purpose. I don't need to be seen in 1080. Dark long sleeves and jeans in 85-degree heat. Long object down jeans. Limp through neighborhoods, up and down stairs. Force sweat all over object. DNA somehow not overwhelming. Alpo! That's a good question. He supposedly carried that gun up and down his body all over the country. Humble host, yellow looks red in you. Thank you. I was told one time it washed me out. Must have been in the winter when I was whiter. 103 Life is Driving clip. Looks like Bagley is getting out of police vehicle at bus stop where Bag is. I have to go back and look. There was a long sleeve ball cap guy in maroon who showed up on the vid right before you cut to finding the one. Yeah, that was Life is Driving's son. Another possible shady person. Lots of reasonable doubt all over. Yeah, that was his son. He wore a long sleeve Henley and a hat. We're back to gyms. Put on lotion, sleeping gloves, and go Max. Prayers for you and Candace. Christ is king indeed. I do my best. Thank you. There appears to be 2 more people on the lower left roof to make it 6. Thank you for all your hard work. And Daisy. More's exposed soon, and God continues to bless and protect you. Christ is king always. Well, thank you. It's very kind. Yeah, there were at least 6 if you count the lower roof. We've got the 4 on the upper roof. But yeah, that's true. The guy on Fox News clip wearing the mask was giving us all a hint. The guy on the staircase was wearing a mask. Tyler Robinson mask. He's giving us all the Easter egg. I didn't even think about that. They could have put a silicone mask on anybody. That's scary. That's never crossed my mind. Ever. Maybe the guy was limping around because he jumped off roof. Maybe the video. Nope. We've already timed that out many times on the show. Nothing reveals Erica's character quite like watching her defend the behavior she once condemned. Her morals have more exemptions than the tax code. I like that. Vagina and Patel equals 1 whole person, maybe half. The math doesn't math. Now both of them just get angry. I thought the burnt-looking item in the SUV piece was a piece of burnt shirt. I went to John Bray's videos and noticed CK's shirt Only got blood on it while CK gets shoved to the ground. No burns. Well, you're assuming any heat would have immediately dissipated and nothing else would have remained smoldering under there. So keep in mind the magnet kept the remnants. Let's assume the mic exploded, and I don't know that it did, but let's assume it did. The magnet would have kept any remnants attached, and maybe they kept going. I don't know. But you got to admit the shirt piece or whatever that is, it looks weird. Tyler's shirt in the garage pick doesn't fit like the one at the police office. The garage Tyler's doesn't hang down as far in the back as the real Tyler's, in my opinion. And ignore ambulance going to UVU. There's so many people involved in Charlie's murder, whether they participated, knew beforehand, part of the cover-up, someone will crack. I'm bound to start talking, but when? Not if they think they're going to die. Joining late, Edge. Sam and I enjoyed Noosh tonight. Oh, you went to Noosh, Edge. I bet it was amazing. I love it. Met the owner who asked how we heard. You, of course, delicious recommendation. Would definitely visit again when in Nash Vegas. I'll catch up now. Jesus loves you. Yeah, she sat with us for quite a while last time we were there and talked about the people coming in. That after hearing about us talk about it, I mean, she does great work. It's a great restaurant, and I get nothing out of it. I've paid full price every meal. We tip, I just like it. Hello from Anchorage, Alaska. My 3-year-old loves to dance to your countdown music. She will bring me the remote and ask me to turn on Charlie Kirk, aka RBP. Well, Officer Bagley, who was with you on the roof. Bagley in the voice of Lucille Bluth. I don't understand the question, and I won't respond to it. Except he did respond. He just said he didn't know. Baron Mireille, I have a confession to make. Your initial instinct to pronounce Mahimo was correct. Oh, good. Shoo. I wanted to put the X in there. I was waiting for EK to confess, but I couldn't take it any longer. Sigue adelante. Al máximo. Yeah, I'm glad it has an X in it. X sound. Maybe Officer Bagley should buy his batteries from the same place Frank Turk gets his phone batteries. Keep going, Max Barron. May Hod bless you and your family and keep you safe. Christ is king indeed. May God bless us as well. And whoever Hod is, thank you. We'll allow it. 2-bit moron. Well, I don't know who Barron's talking about, but the first person that came to mind was Gary. Second person is the guy that looks like a slower version of Gary. Alan, maybe. I don't know who that is. Watching bright and early in Abu Dhabi on a work trip. I want to thank you and this community for the repetition about the beauty of sobriety. Positive vibes here have helped me more than you all know. Oh, Bree, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Have fun in Abu Dhabi. Shouldn't be hard to stay sober there. Isn't alcohol illegal? I thought it was. Could be wrong. The podcast has come so far. Crazy speculation. Bangs stick in SUV, finishes job and plants fragments. Criminal evidence, possibly in Fairy Lake. Keep up good work. Jesus loves you. Oh, I don't know why you'd be trucking evidence all over the country. There's plenty of good lakes right there. I doubt he was boom switched in the car. I doubt that would run a bad risk. You and Daisy are killing it. Wow, Mark and Shawnee, hadn't seen you in a while. Shawnee, welcome back. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thanks for all your hard work and connecting the dots. Shawnee, thank you for your kindness. You're always so kind. Always so kind. And thank you. Thank you, genuinely. So thankful for you guys laying out the elements of this case. I think Fed stoppers forget there are still high IQ, authentic people who will investigate. Thanks for all you do. Christ is king. God bless. Indeed. Baron, answer to Candace's pick. Rhino Rescue Store, Christian homeostatic gauze. Look at site. See what else they sell. Seems right up their alley. Chitosan. Oh, hemostatic gauze. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, doesn't it? All right, what else do they sell? Rhino Rescue. Let's see. Oh, there's Rhino Rescue Store right there. Do I got to go to like the military stuff. Military stuff. Late to the party tonight. Just offering my support and prayers to you and your family, Baron. Go Max. St. Michael, pray for us. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Guy at 3410 in Adam's video seems to have a fake badge. Not sure what time that was, so maybe nothing. Just wanted to share. Keep going, Max. Christ is King indeed. I remember who you're talking about. It was a blonde guy with a crustache. If you're watching, sir, I apologize. I'm sure it's grown out by now. Baron Double Pinky Swear, you're killing me, Smalls. So happy to be here. Love you. Thank you, sir. You're not putting words in your mouth. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Wave to you and yours and Candace as I was passing through the great state of Tennessee today. Love the scenery and the mountains. Happy to be back home, though. Thank you and your team. Go, Max. Christ is King indeed. You got all the way back to Louisiana today? You must have come through early. So do you think that TR and his lookalikes knew they were sacrificing themselves? Was it like they knew someone would be picked to take the fall, but they didn't know who? If so, what were they promised for their life death? I don't know. I don't know the answer. It's a good question. Anthony Fauci put the screwdriver on the roof of the low seat. Maybe. I doubt it. He's old. Great intro. Discovered Rand at 18 by chance and still favorite author. I don't identify as Republican or Democrat or even conservative, but objectivist from her philosophy. I was there at one time, but I found it wanting in a few areas, but I do generally think it's better than most philosophies. I'll say that. Definitely on fire tonight, little brother. Love my humble host. Makes my night when you're on. So glad for this community. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wait, Tyler drops off the roof and lands with knees spread open and bent is a trained and practiced method. I've seen a stuntman demonstrate that to show how to survive an elevator falling in a shaft. Well, timing is key there. Too early or too late, and then you're going to be flat. He also said there was already evidence tags on the roof when he found the screwdriver. The screwdriver didn't have an evidence tag. Oh, I'd have to go back and listen to that. I don't know. I don't remember hearing that. The defense should have a gun expert take apart and put back together with that screwdriver for the jury. Christ is King indeed. Now, they may, but I doubt they'd be in a big hurry. The prosecution would probably be better to do that. What if Candace was Charlie's kill switch? Christ is King indeed. It didn't save his life. Similarly, at the Trump shooting, there was also an unidentified person on the roof that was with the first officer there. Oh, was there? You have to go back and look at that. Thanks for the effort. You're welcome. Hope I lived up to your expectations. Garanimals, attire of the day. Okay. When Blakey arrived, he was in the back passenger seat. Who was in the front passenger seat, and why was it empty when they pulled in? Good question. A good question. I don't know. He also closed the door like a psychopath. Who does that? Close the door, dude. Close the door. Nobody needs to make. I mean, why are you closing it like a wild man? Mama, that's just whelmed me. Help me, Mama. Duly noted. I feel the second photo is some kind of material for sound deadening or cushion in the Rode mic. Maybe that would explain the charred. I don't know. See, I told you about the roof videos and flippin' floppin' towel. You owe me a follow. Oh, I believe you. Baron, I appreciate the great work you're doing. You may have crossed paths with my father some years ago. He worked at the Montgomery County DA's office for 30 years. Keep up the great work. I'm going to assume your father has the same last name. His name Thomas? Looking. Oh, I know him. He was a, he wasn't a lawyer though, was he? I know that guy. He worked with Daryl Bailey. Was he wasn't a cop either. What was he? He might have been a cop. He's the guy you would talk to when there was like evidence that needed to be looked at. I think that's who you're talking about. If that's the same guy. That's the same guy. Yeah. Good guy. Good guy. Super good guy. Thank you. I did cross paths. If it's the same guy, I did cross paths with him. When I grow up and get married, I'm living alone. I don't recommend it. It's a weird way to grow up and be married. GBC, when you're covering up and unaliving, you have to lie. Stop asking questions because we're being paid to cover it up. Allegedly. Gary, you're still a big dummy. That's Ivan's opinion, Gary. Number one fan in North Dallas. Christ is king indeed. Great show. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Love from Kansas. Keep up the good work. Christ is king indeed. I will do so. I will do so. Another UK listener here. Love the show and your dedication. I was wondering if it would be okay to put Christ in the center top frame, just with it being those persecuted by society. Just an idea. No, I'm gonna leave it black. I mean, I've gotten a lot of recommendations, but the black draws eyes, and people ask me, why is it black? It gives me a chance to say, because we got lied to. We were fooled. We were taken for idiots. Get a helmet, TPUSA. Go Max, my B. Yes. You scared? Get a dog. Camera footage of all the people on the roof is just wow. You're the best team. B. Blessings to you all, your family, and the rest of the jury. Thank you. Busted up laughing when you said I've lived long enough that I can count to 3. Almost like you were dropping some deep wisdom in qualification. Well, was I wrong? Thank you for being a beacon of common sense and hilarious hilarity. Doing my best out here. None of them have souls. Well, they have souls. Might be tainted. And only worried about themselves and their wealth. The connection to elites is more important than finding out who, the how, and the why Charlie Kirk was taken out. I tend to agree with the sentiment, not necessarily the theology. Here's no I in we, Baron? Oh, wait. I prefer we over we as it means, if it means I lose my ability to think for myself. Christ is king indeed. God bless you and your family. I think what you're suggesting is you want to live in a dystopian future where you play games. I don't think that exists. They're taking your games away when they take over your souls. When they take over society and you can't go outside of your house, they're going to turn the internet off. I got bad news. Or at least for us. A Rode mic still operating would have recorded everything on the ground. No one has asked for this. We have. People have asked Blake for it, and he called him a psycho or something. I saw someone say the gloves would explain the bullet fragments just below the skin. Maybe that's actually what they were doing in the car. Perhaps. Good point. Boy, it's raining like crazy out there, isn't it? Well, if the power goes out, guys, Jesus loves you. Because we got a nasty storm right directly overhead as we speak. We are like in between the orange and the red. We've come to Erica hates Candace but forgives Tyler, and Brigitte is better looking than Candace. And now we are the B and my B. Keep going, Max. The B and my B. So we're gonna have to call her the B. She might not like that. She might oppose. Are you thinking Charlie was hit with a beam of sort? Well, I don't know. I'm thinking it was not a bullet. And I'm questioning whether it was any kind of concussive event or explosion or anything like that. Like I'm thinking it was just something. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not suggesting it. I'm not covering it that way. I'm not going into detail. I look at this and I think something weird happened. There's a weather company based out of Switzerland that utilizes flock security cameras. Legally speaking, can we subpoena footage? I mean, you don't have right to subpoena it. You can request it. Maybe they'll give it to you. Maybe they won't. You know, I love you. Thanks, Mrs. Coleman. Yeah, Mrs. Coleman's a goat. She's a goat. I'm gonna give her a pass on the backgammon stuff last night. She said some hurtful words. I kid. She did not. Everyone's convinced courts will throw the case and Tyler will get taken out. Joe Kent was talking about how our greatest ally loves chaos. Tyler getting off leaves everyone unsatisfied. Anti-Taylor crowd and us who want real killers jailed. I don't know. He would know better than I would. Were the 4 people on the roof civilians? If cops, where's their body cam footage? You looked at the same footage I have. You have the question, I can't answer it. I mean, I don't know who they are. Whatever you saw, I saw. Whoever they're saying Tyler could have been a cop for all we know. I have no idea who was up there. You can't tell at that distance. I have a hard time believing there are no cameras in that atrium or the inside room where he dropped off the roof. Maybe. Where's the bow pick? Front rest, screwdriver equals monopod, rear rest improvised. ATF did not mention where the rifle was last fired. 1 in 6 twist makes it almost impossible. Is it a 1 in 6? Do we know that for sure? I don't know. Officer Bagley, aka Officer Badley. Baron, a pure broadcasting talent. Ron Bennington-esque. What do you think of measuring the Losi building height compared to Spider-Man hanging? Anyone who goes out there is free to do it. I heard 15 feet. I don't know. When Jesus comes to fulfill the law, he shows us that compassion is rarely just an emotion. It's almost always expressed in action. Death penalty? Are you asking me about the death penalty? I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're asking. Perhaps the key people at TPUSA are being coerced, maybe blackmailed to respond the way they have and can't come clean. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it could be any number of reasons. Where's the body cam footage from the other 3 people on the roof? Are all strangers? I don't know. Unmemorable badges. No wonder he says only 2 of them went. I don't know. I don't know any of these things. You saw what I saw. I have no idea who these people are. Could be the 3 wise men. Good question. Did it smell good when they were around? Did they have frankincense? Neff's head shines brighter when trying to remember. I wonder if he waxes his head. My favorite Home Alone quote, Buzz, your girlfriend? Woof. I have the Home Alone Lego set. Huge fan of the first movie. I love this community so much. I was grateful to be part of it. Christ is king indeed. I'm so thankful for you, Baron, and all that you and Daisy do. Thank you for reminding us they're amazing, sane humans. Sane. You watch this show and think I'm sane? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Your number 1 Skagit Valley Washington fan? Skagit. Bop it. Twist it. Skagit. Baron, I'm currently on a flight back home listening to your podcast to help me with my fear of flying. Nothing you can do about it now. You're in God's hands. If you start hearing some rumbling, just close your eyes. It'll be over soon. Baron, my good man, there are a lot of us who would love to see you attend Julian Dory for an episode of his podcast. Julian's a wonderful host. He and I have talked about it. We have talked about wanting to do that, and there may come a time where we're able to make it work. So we've definitely talked about it. Man, where was Erica Kirk this weekend? What was she doing? I don't see any honorable admissions from TPUSA regarding her whereabouts. I didn't say I'd tell you on Tuesday, as I'd tell you. Who's the message for? Also, Jesse on Fire Cypher, please. We did a whole show on the Jesse on Fire Cypher. It really bothers me a lot that Harpole said we don't want another JFK in his interview, like he heard that before in planning, knew instantly they had a magic appearing wound or come up with for that interview. It's a good question. A good question. I've commented on that very weirdness. Just a small thank you. Your opening was terrific. You're an intellectual juggernaut. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Kind praise. Measure Spider-Man's leg versus Tyler's. Christ is king indeed. Everybody's free to do it. You got the same evidence I have. If Tyler was texting Lance, where's the cell phone geo-tracking data? Good question. Supposedly they got it. What's up, my B? Huge fan. I wrote a song inspired by your show and emailed it to you. Hope you like it. Say hi to my Jill. I'll allow it. Jill? Howdy. Howdy, Jill. Hi. How you doing? What are the odds? Tate brothers get arrested same weekend as EK is in Miami with Larry. Possibly to blame shift or pin accusations from Romania on them? I don't know. Was she there? My B, you're so silly. Sugar on grits is the best. Now, Moon Goddess, that's crazy talk. You're probably someone who likes sugar and cornbread too. Also crazy talk. Cornbread should be dry, buttery, salty, no sweetness, and it should suck every bit of moisture out of your mouth when you bite into it. That's just my humble opinion. Baron, always appreciate the factual and honest reporting. Why is there not much being said about the physics acoustics evidence? It's one of the only non-subjective pieces of evidence out there. Math doesn't lie. Well, that's where you're wrong. Math lies a lot, especially when it comes to acoustic evidence. I consider crack thump analysis and acoustic evidence, particularly with that many buildings around, to be only slightly better than wearing a wizard cap and shaking a wand. I've seen people, they'll put up the waves and they'll say, oh, it's 0. whatever seconds, and here's the thing, and and you look and there's no spike there. I'm like, well, there's a spike there. You're saying it should be there. The measurement, and you're trying to tell me it's there, it's not there. Not only that, they don't seem to agree. Everybody who does the analysis puts the sound coming from a different location. That means it's not math. There's some subjective element to it. Tyler, UVU plates, white tow truck, orange hitch, arch plate. Okay. If you think you can me 15 up, me, sir, you crazy, Mubby? I don't know what that means. We need Daisy merch. We have Daisy merch. I think 2 or 3 different pieces. RealBaronPodcast.com. Click merch, click view all. Plenty of good Daisy stuff. Ed, sincere apologies have covered. The 2 weeks have expired. The sand line was drawn. When shall we see the repercussions of their lying actions? They're more aggressive, angry, and unhinged. I trust nothing. Pretty wild, isn't it? It's pretty wild that rather than just being rational, they lash out and they attack. All because we noticed the screwdriver moved in time, and all because we noticed they didn't run a plate on Tyler's car, and all because we noticed that he supposedly got a partial plate, all because we noticed they hid that Ms. Noble said it was a bald man with 3 passengers. All because we point out Blake claims he was in Orem, then he claims he's in Salt Lake. All because we claim there was a plane that, for whatever reason, that was being used by TPUSA people, decided in the middle of the day to fly to Santa Barbara and then Scottsdale. And they get mad at us just for pointing this out and saying, hey, could you guys answer some questions about all this stuff? You psychos, you demons. Hey, Baron, did you consider the jump off the roof wasn't planned patsy route? That Tyler kind of went rogue there and that saved him from being taken down? I don't think it was Tyler. I mean, I know you put it in air quotes. I don't think it was Tyler. My B, you said caps make it easier to read. No, I did not. Did I say that? If I so, I was lying to your face. Maybe short messages, but once you get like 3 lines, I can't make heads or tails of it. The entire roof footage could be AI. Maybe. I don't know. Driving is like all skate on this water. Oh, you in Nashville still? I mean, I'm looking at the radar right here. It's nasty. Wonder if you're getting it. I mean, it's on top of my head, like deep into the middle of it. That's gross. I don't want to even open these windows. Look out. I'm scared. So I was on TikTok, and there are women saying things about you that made me blush. I had no idea. Thought I'd report this to Mrs. C. Haha, ladies, chill. No, you are. Are you hard to make blush? Is that the point we're making? Is that the point of this comment, that you are very hard to make blush? What scares me about that is my kids say they see me on TikTok. I hope they're not seeing people say stuff like that. I'm sure it's innocent. Hoping your house is on the hill or at least in a non-flood plain area. Got very nasty here in Hendersonville. Yeah, it looked like it rolled through Hendersonville an hour ago, maybe. Yeah, I'm not in a floodplain. I'm up on the hill a little bit. Been dealing with some serious spiritual warfare. And family, please pray. Been trying to keep up. Keep truth and be. Love you. Christ is King indeed. I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. Number one defense, spiritual warfare is confession. Confess your sins. Since came up, item in SUV looked like burnt mask. Good. I'm so glad you said it was McClintock Wilson. That's who I thought at first, but haven't seen a picture of him. I wasn't sure. It's him. I've talked to him several times. He's a good guy. When did TR retrieve his vehicle? If the official story is to be believed, I would say probably 12:38 or 9. If the official story is to be believed. He could have gotten there, but when unable to watch your entire podcast, I always jump just the end just to hear you tell me Jesus loves me. Each and every time it profoundly moves me. Thank you. Christ is King indeed. That means a lot, Ann. That means a lot. And I genuinely appreciate that. My last super chat didn't come through to you, so I guess I'll say it again. Officer Bagley, a.k.a. Officer Badley. I read that. Came through 5x5, sir. 5x5. Third picture looks to me like it could be the Tegaderm bandage. Covered in blood, burnt, and the darkest particles resemble wrinkles, imprint of skin. Am I crazy? Christ is King indeed. Keep up the good work. Let me look here. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It looks a little gauzy to me in this new picture, if I'm being honest. It doesn't look as much like a shirt as it does gauze. But I don't know what it is. And I don't know why it would be all black and have those silver things around the edge. Like that, I don't get. I don't know. I go where the evidence leads me. I don't try to make it anything. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, this fits my theory, so I'm going to go with that. I don't know what that is. My monkeys watch you every night with us. Say hi, Lou. Kind of looked like a monkey, didn't it? Yeah. I'm sure they recognize me. I do that to the monkeys at the zoo. They don't like it. Look up Pluribus. You would. Love you and Daisy. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Thank you for keeping merch affordable. I got 3 shirts. Love you. On that merch site, we put it at the lowest level to let us put it. Like, they recommend we double the price from where we are right now. I'm like, why? Like, the merch is there for people to enjoy. It's not us, it's not a profit source for us. They require us to sell it at a certain price. That's where we set it, at the floor. And then their suggested price, like if we sell something at $38 or $32 or $21, like say it's $11, they're like, you should be charging $22. I'm like, no, we're not. I just don't care. Have it. Enjoy it. $11 off mugs. You can't 15 up me, sir. Love you. No cribbage game. Listen, Moon Goddess, you'll be catching 15s left and right. You won't even know what it hit you. You'll be looking at all 4 cards going, does that really equal 15? I'm like, yeah, it does. Move me. Since court wasn't in session last night, I got to catch a crazy evening of storms with Ryan Hall, y'all. I like Ryan Hall, y'all. When we get really severe weather, I watch him. But sometimes he's worried about storms on the other side of the country. And I'm like, hey, come back here. 2023, Northrop Grumman murdered 2 employees. Hold on now. We can't say that. Is that true? Have they been convicted of that? Or are you just suggesting that? We'll just say it's your opinion for now. I don't know the story. Landlord became the Utah Intelligence Plan Officer, and new neighbor moved in, ran Spencer Cox's campaign, and was part of Utah State Anticipatory Program. Please check it out. I'll look into that, but I've not heard anything about that. But I have heard about the end of the show. It's late. We went a little late tonight. Took a little while to get the show finishing touches put on. But we got there. We got a cool show lined up for you tomorrow. Actually, I may do the member show tomorrow and then go live Thursday and Friday. I really enjoyed that Friday show last week. So I haven't decided how we're going to do that. I'll let you know early in the morning which way we're going to go on that. But if not, we'll do the cool show on Thursday. It's an interesting show. And I don't think anyone will cover it between now and then. If so, we'll do something else. That happens sometimes. You get a whole show done and then like the next day somebody else does it. You're like, we'll do a different show. But yeah, so we'll be on live tomorrow, one way or the other. Either members or regular show. Thursday, 100% regular show. Friday will either be the members of the regular show. Whichever we don't do tomorrow will be Friday. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I know it's late. I hope you sleep well. For those of you in Australia, I know you're getting on to lunch. Go get some Vegemite. Can't believe you guys eat that nasty stuff. Go eat some Vegemite on toast. If you're somewhere else over there, eat whatever's appropriate to your culture. But here in these United States, I'm about to go to bed. Well, in an hour or so. It takes about an hour to finish the show after I get off the air. But then I'll go to bed. Don't forget. You almost forgot. I didn't almost forget. You almost forgot. Jesus loves you. But don't forget, because he does. He does. You can't get away from it either. You can try, but you can't. You can't. I will see you guys tomorrow, one way or the other. And Thursday, again, regular show. And then Friday, either regular or member show, opposite of what we do tomorrow. Hope everyone has a wonderful night. Talk to you soon.